Go live. Going live. You're live. Hell. That's the phone. That's fine. It's around the corner. It's on the thing. Literally, you hit go live and the phone rang. And it's like, can you not?
I'm doing a thing.
I am.
Mom!
Also, over there, that's where the camera is now. I just immediately, I went, hello, interwebs. And it's just like, over there.
That's a light.
It is. Well, no, there's the webcam is there as well.
Oh, okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Two Guys Talk Tech. Welcome to the show. I'm going to go to full screen, actually. I'm going to do that. There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. How are we all doing today? Good afternoon. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Right. Chat. I want to make that chat a little bit bigger so I can read it better. There we go. Caradog's working on his own chat. He's just complaining about his laptop first.
Absolutely.
Is it only 1080p?
It is actually true 1080p though. That's quite impressive.
Do you guys have audio? Yes, you guys can hear us. Yes.
You did turn on the microphone.
Yes.
Congratulations.
The microphone was all the way at the bottom of the audio mixer stack, and I had to scroll down to see it. So for a minute, I was just like, "Wait, can they actually hear us?" So.
But see, more the problem is the fact that the smart unlocking didn't smart unlock.
Oh.
So now I have to type in my password.
On your phone, or are you just looking up the password?
Like some sort of peasant. Yeah, now I'm looking up the password.
Right. But yes, Caradog Shrunk, yes, he's on the small chair because all of the stools in this shop are broken again, and they all squeak incessantly. Because stools don't last, man, it sucks. But yes, hello everyone, how's it going? Noel, Yate Computing, hello. And Bacon Bro, I remember that name as well. Postal, hello. Let's see. Greetings from Egypt. Hello. Right, glad the show is back. Yes, I was away last week. I was out seeing family. Ashley had a nice day, so it was a case of cancelled things, but I had a nice day, so it's fine. Probably not the last time either, because I'm going on holiday at the start of August, so there'll probably be another missed show. Maybe, anyway. I'm kind of thinking of doing some streams from holiday, because... my family, I'm going on a holiday with my family, and we're going to like a cottage in the middle of nowhere. Like it's more like a lodge, if anything. Big place. They've got a gaming room, a TV room, a living room, and all the rest of it. And
a house,
I guess, yeah. But it's got no upstairs. But
a bungalow.
Bungalow implies that it's just a small place for old people to live or something. No offense, people who live in bungalows, but which is most of Australia, I think.
I mean, as they say, it's all right for Australia.
Yeah, good enough for Australia. But yeah, and I was thinking of doing a remote there because I was saying to my family, because my family were just like, we're going on holiday, come on holiday. And I'm like, that's very complicated. Going on holiday is very complicated for me. There's a reason why I never go on holiday. And they were just like,
it has nothing to do with me not having a passport.
Yeah, but they were like, oh, you could do your streams from there. They've got good fiber broadband and stuff like that. And I'm like, maybe I will. So yeah, we might do a remote stream there. So yes,
there are glasses there.
Yeah, so I'll see how things go. I'm probably gonna. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make no promises, but I'll probably bring the kit to do it, and then I'll see how I feel as things advance. And then if everything is chill and the broadband is actually good, I'll be like, yes, cool, okay, I'm gonna do a stream from here. Whereas if the broadband is a bit squicky, like they say it's fiber. But if it's one of those cases where it's fiber broadband, but it's actually 30 down and 2 up or something like that, because it's fiber to the cabinet and the cabinet is about 20 miles away, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to try and stream off of this. Or like, if I end up, like, if tethered internet is my only option, I'm not streaming on that. I've tried to do it before. It didn't go very well. So, yes.
This one time at LAN party.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it did work. It worked just about, but it wasn't a great experience. And afterwards, I was like, okay,
I'm never doing this again.
Yeah, I was like, that worked, but I'm not doing it again. But yes,
absolutely.
Mr. Guru says here in Australia, it's just a house. So yeah, it's true.
Oh, have you not quite made it at home yet, or something?
No, just the fact of if it's a single-story house in the UK, it's called a bungalow.
Yeah, but yes, because we have many forms of housing.
Yeah.
It gets terrible.
Yes.
There's this new form of housing I've been informed of called cloister housing.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's where you have four houses together in a cluster, but it's called cloister.
Oh, okay. Sure. Fine.
That was a new one that was brought up on me recently. And then duplex flats, maisonettes, townhouses, mid-town house.
Duplex flats are so confusing. I've got friends who've lived in duplex flats, and like you show up, you go into their flat, and you're like, but there's a stairway. I don't understand. It's a flat. You know.
It's not very flat.
Yes, precisely. like it's in the name. You know. Oh well.
And you've got cottages. How are cottages different to bungalows or houses?
Yeah. Oh, fun.
Upside down houses.
Funhouse says, do you guys remember Laurel and Hardy? I do remember Laurel and Hardy, and yes, you're not the first person to make that comparison, and I'll take it as a compliment. So yeah. Let's see. What's that ODD looking CD album thing behind you? Oh. I was looking in the OBS preview so I could see the background. I'm like, what's he talking about? And then I saw it. Why do I even have that CD here still? Is it still shrink wrapped, or did I open it? No, I'm not talking about it. We're not. No. Anyway, let's talk about some tech. Do I have a bigger check? No. This is as good as it gets. I mean, I can accentuate the problem by putting my stool up to its highest level. So yeah, what I really like is to have a gas strut stool that's powerful enough to actually lift me up, so I can recreate a scene from Nevermind the Buzzcocks, where the presenter dude had they did a thing on an episode where he had a power gas strut in his chair, and just at random he could push an up button and just start ascending on the set. And he did it once where he went up by like 5 feet and then just went, I am the one and only. And it was very funny.
They can't take that away from me.
Hands up if anyone's seen that reference. Anyway, Simon Amstel, that's the one. Yeah. Woody Black's got me. Okay. Camera is a bit bright. You guys look ghostly. It is a little bit. I'm ghostly anyway. We are a little bit washed out, but...
I like how you say that, and legitimately you're a yellower shade of white.
I'm just yellow in general. I think my liver is failing.
Do you have strange patches of brown appearing upon your person?
No.
Okay, you don't have liver spots, so you're okay.
But yes. Caradox Cup pick is amazing. Yeah. It is mandatory to use that mug. Shout out to Sai and
Night Fusion.
Wasn't Postal involved in that as well?
Call them all out.
Well,
they're all terrible.
Yeah, Sai, Postal, and Night Fusion were all involved in that. Too much Devon juice. Oh no. Right. Did we mod the keyboard yet? We haven't done the keyboard yet. However, the we'll actually start doing stuff and talking about stuff in a minute, guys.
Maybe
it's just,
eventually.
Yeah. If you came here
it's slow.
Yeah. If you came here for a structured show, you're in the wrong channel. That's my excuse. Anyway, these boys did show up today. I can do this now, so check this out. Let's go to the bench cam and actually focus as well. So here are the things we ordered. So there's the USB Type-C connectors. Ports.
The pluggy-in bits.
Yes. And
the doodads, the doohickeys.
Yeah, and I'll just grab a cable because when it showed up and Caradog made the same mistake, we were just like, oh no, they were right. We ordered the wrong ones because there were so many comments of people going, oh, you ordered the wrong ones.
I didn't think we'd ordered the wrong ones. I thought they'd made them the wrong size.
Oh, yeah.
I thought like it was manufacturing defects. They were the wrong size.
Yeah.
Because they looked exactly the same size as the cable.
Yeah. And like the connector on that plug there is a fairly thick boy. However, they do actually plug in, and they plug in with a very satisfying click as well. So that's kind of rad. Absolutely. So yes, so we can now start USB-C modding things. So we're going to do Caradog's keyboard. We're not going to do that today, just because where I was off last week and it's been a stressful week, I'm very much in a mindset of I can't be arsed this week. So I was just like, I've got a couple of soldering kits, and we're just going to do some soldering kits because I want something simple this week. So yeah. However, the keyboard will be on its way soon. And speaking of keyboards as well, and also just because Teltac is around in the chat, also coming up probably as a dedicated video, Teltac is building some ridiculous Mad Lad keyboard, and he has sent me these low-profile Kalia. Is that how you pronounce it? Kalia? Kalia? Those.
Kale?
Kale. Yes. Kale. Yes. Some Kale Brown low-profile switches, and these are really kind of interesting, I thought. So I wanted to show these as well. Kale is in rail. Yeah, there we go. So these
I
are...
do not wish to rail your switches.
So these are low-profile mechanical keyboard switches, and they're really cool. They're very nice. And like compared... This is a Cherry MX Red here. So there's a Cherry MX Red, and there's the Kale. So as you can see, super low-profile mechanical. And because it's see-through, you can see the action really well. So let me show you a really big close-up of this, because it's cool. Let me get super deep in on that, and focus.
Zoom. Enhance. Engage. NCIS.
There we go. And so now, if I grab a poker so I can poke, if you look, you can see the action there. How cool is that?
Interesting.
And like, as soon as I feel the tactile bump, you can see that little lever just snapping onto the contact there. You can't move it slowly. Like if I depress really slowly, it moves really quickly. So yeah, and like the bottom of the travel does nothing, as you can see. So as soon as it hits the bump, there's the action point. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. I looked at the wrong camera again. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yes.
Now X-ray, yeah. Hello, Sri Lanka. So yes, low profile art, unusual kind of year. So yes, that's that.
They're also very flat keycaps, aren't they?
Yeah. If you break out one of the keycaps. Yeah, I thought this was kind of interesting because I like low profile keyboards as well because I'm very accustomed to laptop keyboards. So there's one of the keycaps, which again is super low. So if I just stick one of those on. So you end up with the entire thing is bench cam. The entire thing is that height.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. And
yes, if you side by side it.
Yeah, and so yeah, there's the side by side. So the entire mechanism is going to be like half the height of a full height one. So yeah, I've always fancied low profile keyboards. So this is sort of giving me ideas. But Caradog and I were talking before the show about keyboard stuff because both of us have a bit of an interest in doing some custom keyboard stuff. But man, it's just everything's really expensive for what you're getting, and the standards are a bit of a mess. And yeah, like I'm really interested in building this, and I'm really interested in building this for Teltac. However, I think he's a bit of a mad lad, and I think he's going to build a mad lad keyboard that no one would want to use. No offense. So yeah, low profile keys. Yeah, Caradog is also in low profile mode at the moment.
Yes.
Gergoplex, is it Gergoplex? Gergoplex?
Giorgo. It's George. Plex.
Giorgoplex.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Or Giorgio.
I don't know.
As in like Armani. Or Armada. Depending on whether you're a fashion person or a EDM person.
Gergoplex.
Go. Plex. Okay.
So now he's just got to get some OLED keycaps so he can have some GIFs on his Gergoplex as well. There's some GIF jokes in there somewhere. Anyway.
Those, yes, there was legitimately a keyboard that had the OLED keycaps.
Yeah.
The really crappy first-gen OLED keycaps that burned in after about 7 hours.
Yeah.
And the keyboard cost something like £1,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of cool. And then they used shitty membrane laptop switches on it, and I was like, ha!
It was ahead of its time, unfortunately. I'd like to see someone take another swing at that, because every now and then I see someone link to a prototype keyboard that has OLED keycaps on it, and everyone swoons over it and goes, wow, look at that. And I'm just like, yeah, these things have been around for ages, but just no one has successfully brought one to production at any kind of sane price with a good quality, with something that you can actually use as a daily kind of thing. So, yeah.
Do you remember seeing the things for the mobile phone screens with like the air pockets in?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they had a working prototype for a touch screen tablet screen that could raise little bumps on it, so you could actually have tactile feedback on keys and rough surfaces.
And I went, huh. You're going to look at that once and go, why does my screen look all weird? Why is there this weird banding? Oh, why is this image distorted down here?
Well, you'd only use it like when the keyboard is on screen and stuff like that.
But the fact that the plastic would either have to stretch, so deform, or would have to be slack and have wrinkles in it, would mean there's an air gap between the edge of the display and the actual thing that creates the image.
Ooh, good point.
So it's going to look iffy.
Yeah.
So this is like, yes, but no. Or like the lasers that like projected the keyboard onto the desk, and you went.
I want to try one of those. I think they're terrible because you've got no feedback. Yeah.
They are.
But they're also an interesting idea that I would like to try. I would like to try one of those just to see if they're any good.
Yeah.
So yeah. Opinions on the Steam Deck. Oh yes, thanks for reminding me, Dale. I do have opinions on the Steam Deck, and I want to.
I have opinions.
I do have opinions, and so I've got my own podcast, so everyone has to listen to my opinions now. After all, that's literally the only reason to start a podcast, is because you have opinions and you want to state them as facts. Hi, welcome to Two Guys Talk Tech. So,
hi, Two Guys Talk Modern Social Media.
Yeah. Yeah, the Steam Deck.
NordVPN.
Oof. But first, a message from our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. No, not really. Right, anyway.
Stream Deck.
Steam Deck.
Steam Deck.
Steam Deck. Not to be confused with the Stream Deck.
Oh!
Have you just made that connection?
I thought, every time I read it, I thought people were talking about Stream Decks. And I was so confused. I was like, they're old! They're very old!
Yeah. Nope.
There's nothing new about them. I even went on the Corsair website and was like, nope, there isn't a new one. I'm very confused.
Yeah, nope. Well, I saw it by chance because I just opened Steam to download a game that I was going to stream on Thursday, which it was Thursday that it was announced, wasn't it?
Yes, because we talked about it in your stream.
That's right, yeah, because I opened Steam on Thursday purely by chance, and it was just front page, and I was just like, oh, cool, they made one of those. So, I mean, obviously, these, call it what it is, it's a portable PC. Right? Is that what we could call it? Because it's not new. Obviously, there's
an Android tablet with a controller.
Well, it's got an x86 processor in it. It's not running Android, is it?
No,
it's running Linux.
Running Linux.
Yeah.
And what's Android based on? Linux. It's an.
That's a butchery. And
I'm also calling it
an
Android tablet because that's about as performant as it's going to be.
Okay. This is a freaking hot take. This is. Man, we're in the middle of a heat wave, and Caradog is bringing the heat right now. I disagree entirely with all of this.
It will successfully play Fortnite on performance mode, and that's about it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. The performance of it is not stellar. Portable PC. There's half a dozen of them on the market at the moment. They're not the first to market with it. However, they're the first high-profile brand, I think, to market with it.
They're also the first brand with actual software developers.
Yes. Whereas all the other ones just run Windows. Although personally, if I had one of these, I'd probably want to run Windows on it so I could have all of the perks of being able to run like Discord and stuff like that on it anyway.
But you can, I presume it has a web browser.
Yeah, I suppose
It's
so.
running.
Actually,
It's running a full desktop Linux
that's a good point. And
distro, basically.
And actually, now I think about it, these days, what would I want to run on it that I could not run in a web browser anyway?
What apps do I have installed that are actually native apps and not just running an Electron?
Yeah, that's just it. It's the Chromebook problem, isn't it? It's just like, oh, Chrome can't run native apps, and it's just like, well, what are you actually running that doesn't already run in a Chrome browser? So, okay.
What do you do on the internet that Google doesn't already own?
Yeah, and as Thomas Alaskan just said as well, you can install Windows on it as well, which they have confirmed.
Yes.
So, and yes, Caradogs is a Chromebook there as well. It's the Lenovo one.
S.
It looks quite nice. You're complaining about the screen on it, but I think you're being picky.
S34014.
Yeah.
Well, yes, because also the last laptop I used was a £2,000 Surface Book.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want a Surface Book screen in that.
Yeah. You want a Surface Book then?
No. I want a Surface Book screen on that.
You want a Surface Book that costs £400?
Maybe $450. I'll give you $450.
Yeah, okay.
I'll raise you a fiver.
So, at any rate, yeah. I'm fine with the software on it. Yeah, my beef with it is, the pricing on it is competitive, but I think they've had to make too many compromises to the point where I don't want it anymore. Because so the base price is 350, but for 350 quid, you get 64 gigs
Is
of.
it?
Yeah, it's 350.
Oh, okay.
The
I thought
entry
the
price.
base price was $450.
Well, that's just it, because it's 350 for the 64 gig eMMC one.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought the EMC one was $450.
No.
And then it was $590 for the next one or something.
It's
like that.
$450 for 256 gigs of NVMe.
Oh, okay.
So the thing is the 350 quid one with 64 gigs of eMMC.
It's a Switch.
Yeah, it's a Switch, except it's got no exclusives on it. So you may as well buy a Switch and then be able to have the exclusives. That's my first beef. Is it's a case of for the same money you can buy a Switch and be able to play the Switch exclusives, whereas the Steam Deck has no exclusives. I'm like, this doesn't do anything that I can't already do with a laptop streaming off of my gaming PC. Now, I know that's a bit of a stretch, but the point stands. Now,
I imagine the sofa experience would be slightly better.
Yeah, but then the other issue is, so you've got to pay $450 for it to have 256 gigs of NVMe, and now you're cooking. I'm like, okay, now we're talking. But the problem is now it's £450, which is, that's reasonable. But again, this thing has got the equivalent of a 720p screen. It's 1280 by 800. It's not even.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a 7-inch screen.
I
It's
thought
not
I
1080p.
thought they'd actually done 720p screen.
No, it's 16 by 10, which I actually approve of, because 16 by 10 is awesome, and I want it back. I think we both agree on that. 16 by 10 is.
I'll take 3 by 2.
Yeah, okay.
3 by 2. Okay, we're going back. I want a Surface Book. Again, the 16 by 10 screen is cool, but it should have been 1080p or equivalent. So it doesn't. It's got a boring screen on it. There's nothing interesting about the screen, and also maybe, however, it being that resolution means it might actually be able to play games at something above 12 FPS.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, and I have a suspicion that was why they did it. Is they were like, this thing isn't fast enough to run anything above 720p anyway.
Yeah.
So why bother giving it a better screen?
Why do you need more than 720p at 7 inches in a device you're holding like this?
Potentially, yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I can kind of understand that, and also certainly I feel like most of the people who are going to buy it aren't going to be the people who particularly know what.
Maybe, but then also we're living
DPI
in, like if I can have 1440p on my phone, why the hell have I got 720p on a 7-inch screen? Now, I
Because
know
you don't
that's...
need 1440p on your phone.
Yeah, but you can have that beautiful clear text, which means when you're using it to, like, if you've got a low DPI screen, so let's call it a 720p screen because that's easy to understand. If you've got a 720p screen at 7 inches, reading through chats and text messages is going to suck because you're going to have 2 lines of text on the screen. You're going to have to be at 100%. You've got no screen real estate for browsing. And if you zoom out, the text becomes mangled, which makes it hard to read. That's why we want high DPI displays, because it means we can zoom out on stuff and still be able to read it. That's what high DPI is about. It's not about whether you can see the pixels or not. It's about clarity of text and being able to cram more information in the screen and have it be readable. But of course, that's not what this is for, so I'm kind of being unfair there anyway.
It is very much designed for, at best, you might be watching videos, kind of thing, other than playing games, but it is kind of a case that, just... So it feels like 720p is a letdown because it should be more, but at the same time, it's kind of a case of, but you're not going to see those extra pixels in games on a screen that size at that view distance. I
also think that it is a pretty safe bet to say that a second generation version of this device is going to be either OLED or 1080p. It's the first thing they're going to upgrade on the second generation of it.
Maybe when we're on like 3rd gen OLED panels.
Yeah, maybe. So, okay, so that's that. And then my other beef with it as well is it's twice the weight of a Switch. And I don't know if you've actually held a Switch handheld before, but the Switch is as much weight as I'd want to hold in my hands for any... Like, I do not find a Switch comfortable to use handheld unless I'm sitting at a desk or on my lap doing that, which I don't really want to do either. You have to do that. You've got to have your elbows on a desk or something. Actually holding a Switch in your hands for any reasonable amount of time, not a great experience in my opinion. And this thing is twice the weight.
So it needs a monopod.
Yeah.
So it needs one of those little spring-powered monopods so you can kind of go...
Yeah. Or failing that, like with the Switch, if you find that uncomfortable, you can put it on the kickstand, slide the Joy-Cons off and hold the Joy-Cons in your hand and do it that way. But you can't do that with this because it doesn't switch. So, this is... And again, this is kind of my issue with all of these portable PCs. Not just the Steam Deck, but I think they've all got that problem. I think they're a great... I love the concept. But I think unless I'm riding a train to work every day, where I've got like half an hour to burn every day, just sitting on a train wanting to game on something, I can't see when I'd ever use it.
I feel like 2021 is not the year of vast quantities of train commuting.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, I think by that argument, the response to that is, well, okay, this isn't for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I fully accept the fact that the Switch is not a console for me.
Yeah.
Because I am not interested in any of the games that are on there, particularly.
Yeah.
Or I have access to dramatically better editions of them anyway.
Yeah.
A la Doom 2016, I have it on PC, I have it at 144 FPS, I have it at 4K, etc. I understand. That's why I don't particularly rag on the Switch, other than people who say it's the greatest thing ever. I'm like, no, it's very good for its niche. It is not universally the best thing ever. In the same token as a gaming PC isn't the best thing ever.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got the pros and cons.
But it's arguably got a much wider niche. Because it's also so much more competent in so many more things. Yeah. So, yes.
Because like on a similar note, like this... The Switch, again, it attacks its niche no more, no less. Because I think like in a very similar vein, everyone has been moaning about the new OLED Switch, and that's kind of a case of like lots of people were upset that there was no Switch Pro, and then a lot of the pundits turned around and said Nintendo never promised a Switch Pro. The only thing we ever saw was tech websites with rumors. And the rumours were actually completely unsubstantiated claims. The only thing we ever had that was close to a Switch Pro is by virtue of the fact that there are parts available that would be perfect for a Switch Pro.
Yeah.
And I think that's why there was so much disappointment over the OLED Switch, is that Nintendo never promised anything more, and they were not obligated to deliver anything.
Yeah.
But I think people's frustration is that there are plenty of parts that are readily available on the market that you could drop straight into a Switch without any major overhauls and make it better. And it's just like there's a better CPU that they can drop into it.
I think
the 4K upscaling, you can just stick a 4K upscaler in the dock. Bam, you've got 4K upscaling. You know, there's plenty of things that they could do, but just have chosen not to. And everyone's just like, oh, okay. We knew you never said you were going to do this, but it's there and you could do it and it would make it better, you know.
Yeah.
That's my take.
Yeah, it's just kind of... I don't know. I think there are lots of opportunities that you could really rip the Switch apart. However, it is proven by the amount it has sold that doesn't affect people enjoying the device.
Yes, which that itself is another conversation, because that stems into it's Nintendo, people will buy it whatever, and it's a case of that doesn't make it good or even adequate. People just buy it because it's the best they can manage from a company that is holding a lot of beloved IPs. You know, like I know, like, I've got friends who bought a Switch. They don't like the Switch, but they bought it because they're like, but I want the games that Nintendo is selling. I don't like the Switch as a product, but this is the only way I can get more of the franchise that I like. Yeah. Like, for example, they'll be like, I want more Pokemon, I want more Zelda. The only way to get that is to buy a Switch. So I guess I have to buy a Switch. So, and as I say, that's a very complicated issue in and of itself.
Yeah, I was very lucky that I never really interacted with Nintendo at all growing up. So I have zero allegiance to any of their proprietary stuff. That's not quite right. Their own properties, their stuff that is held for ransom by ultimately crappy consoles.
Yeah.
And so, I have no vested interest in that, and I don't want to play any of the stuff that is a Nintendo exclusive at all. None of it appeals to me at all. So it's just kind of
you don't have a horse in the race.
I am very free to just criticize it as the piece of hardware it is.
Yeah.
I think the thing to that I feel was possibly a mistrick about the Steam one, the Steam Deck. Is that what it's called? Yes, that one was that it doesn't have an NVIDIA GPU in it. They didn't get NVIDIA to buy in to releasing DLSS support on Linux. They didn't use that device to strong-arm NVIDIA into providing DLSS on Linux, which would have been a massive boon for the community and a massive boon for the device.
Yeah.
But even if it can only render at 720p, you can DLSS that up to 1080p and it will look really good.
Yeah,
you can
even stretch that good enough.
You can stretch that to 1440p or even 4K, and it will look fine.
Yeah,
the average console gamer won't notice the difference.
Yeah,
because DLSS Deep Learning Super Sampling 2.1 is magical.
Yeah,
it is incredible the level of detail it can resolve.
Yeah.
And
it does bother me the fact that they're talking about playing AAA games on this thing, and I'm just like, this is like, what is it? It's a 4000 series Ryzen APU, isn't it? Basically. I don't think they've named it.
It is a reasonably cut down Xbox Series S.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah, because all I knew was that it was a Zen 2 core, so I just assumed it was going to be a 4000 series Ryzen.
Is it 2-core full thread? 2-core full thread?
Yes, I think so.
Running it something like 3 gigahertz.
Yeah, Can anyone confirm that? What was the core count on the Steam Deck CPU?
Why don't we just look at the specifications?
Yeah. You do that. While you do that, I'm going to break open one of these packets because I said I'd build one of these, so I'm going to start building this while we chat. So yeah, 4-core 8-thread. Really?
Oh, it is 4-core 8-thread. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And it's RDNA 2. Oh, okay, that's not terrible. Yeah.
The RDNA 2 part is the impressive part.
Yeah, I was going to say that's better than I thought, because the problem is I was kind of putting, okay, so it's a 3400G equivalent in my head, and it's like, no, that's not fair. It's better than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that part of it's impressive.
Yeah, a Series S, but a lower end Series S running at 720p. Okay, yeah, that's
it could be good.
Yeah.
But I think it will very much require developer buy-in to very much optimize, have pre-made profiles for games to run on it.
Yes.
So you load a game, the game detects it's running on a Steam Deck and instantly loads this profile, which is the optimized version for the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Compared to the or in similar vein to like pre-made optimizations for like the Switch edition of games. So yes, kind of in that category. So it's kind of that. So I feel like that's what kind of sold the Switch, was it's having the buy-in from developers to specifically optimize games for the Switch platform. And then that's kind of what has made the Switch for sort of the impossible ports possible, like having Doom Eternal on a Switch and things like that, was the buy-in from the developer of the game to make those optimized profiles, to strip out and remanage and so on to make it even function, let alone function well.
Yeah,
so,
that makes sense. Yeah.
So, I love the fact that the first thing when I go tech specs and then really show me the tech specs, they don't show you the tech specs. They go, this is the keyboard layout.
Yeah.
It's like, are you trying to hide the specification from me because you're embarrassed by it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think the specs are fine. I'm just like they're not. The specs don't blow my mind, but they're exactly what I would expect from this. And it's also the fact that the thing is
that's interesting.
Like if you ignore the Switch comparisons and you compare it versus other portable PCs, then it's very well priced, because I think those other portable PCs are like £500 and up.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're putting it out at, again, the 350 priced one is dubious because it's got garbage storage on it, which I think is a like 64 gigs of eMMC. That's a deal breaker in my opinion. And I'd be like, no, if you could put your own SSD in there, it'd be fine, because you could buy that and then stick your own storage in there later on. But I hear it's not upgradable. No citation needed. So for that,
I'd imagine that it's going to be a completely sealed unit, because why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, so that means you have to buy the 450 one to get any kind of decent user experience, because eMMC is garbage. Do not buy eMMC.
They say that it is a socketed 2230 M2 module.
Okay, so if you can open it up, then it's upgradable. But like you say,
I don't know. It is certainly not standard end user upgradable.
Yeah. However, theoretically, that could mean you could take that to a mobile repair shop or a savvy computer shop and say, "Can you put more storage in my Steam Deck?" That seems plausible.
Possibly, hopefully.
So,
but the thing that interests me is the fact that obviously it's got a memory controller on there that can use LPDDR5.
Yeah.
On effectively Zen 2. So it's got an upgraded I/O die, which can do DDR5 at 5500 mega transfers. It's like,
that's fair.
That's pretty damn fast.
Yeah, maybe that's how they're squeezing the performance out of it, just extreme memory performance.
Oh yeah,
because obviously this is Zen we're talking about. Zen loves high-speed memory,
and obviously that, but at the same time, that's only 5500 mega transfers compared to GPU memory kind of thing. So it's a case of, on the integrated side, it's still a bit meh.
Yeah.
Compared to a GPU, but then the sort of general I/O. The RAM side is very good, so it's both. It's I feel like it's very good for integrated.
Yeah.
It's not very good if you're comparing it to a graphics card, but then it's not a dedicated graphics card, so it's kind of that middle ground to a degree. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's limited in ways it possibly didn't need to be.
Yeah.
Also, I love the fact that someone was trying to sell pre-orders for it for 2,500.
I saw that. I saw them up at 5,000 as well, and I'm just like, I don't think this thing is getting scalped. Like, I think this thing is going to sell, and you know, like, and there, who was it? I just rolled off screen again. Oh, I can't find it now. Someone in the chat said that we were coming round to it, and I'm just like, I don't hate it. It's just not something I'm interested in. But I think it's a reasonable product, and I think this is possibly going to break in. I think this is possibly going to break open the portable PC market in a way that other people have been trying to for years. Like, you know, the Nvidia Shield and stuff like that. They've all been trying to do this for years, and I think this might be the product to do it. But it's also not a product that I'm interested in buying myself. But as I say, that's because I don't feel like I have a use for it. I don't feel like it's for me. I
would be reasonably interested.
I'm just going to cut into super quick, just to quickly explain. The kit I'm building here, I've no idea what it is or what it does. It's probably going to count or do lights or do some kind of spinner. It might be I think it might be a stopwatch. I'm going to build it and see what it does. I have no idea. Anyway, continue.
I was going to say, I'd be interested in a slightly upgraded version of it in a laptop format.
Because
as a laptop,
a
laptop, this is way better than most of the 15-watt APUs we've got in laptops currently.
Yeah, I was about to say I want to slap you, but the more I think about that, the more that makes sense.
For like a fractionally upgraded version of that, so you give it a boost target of 20, a maximum boost of 20 watts because it's a slightly bigger device.
Yeah,
but then you shove it in an 11-inch laptop.
Yeah. That's not a bonkers idea.
That I would be interested in as well. Again, not specifically for me, but it feels like that's a really good other use for this as well, especially if it's got full Type-C out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you can plug it into a full-size screen.
Yeah, I was going to say...
it's ultra portable that you can do your word processing on, but also if you're somewhere and you can dock up, effectively, you can also play games.
Yeah, I was going to say it needs an accessory scene. It needs an accessory scene so it can have a stand or a docking station or something like that you can sit it in and have a keyboard and mouse on hand, so you could effectively use it. Like, I want to say this would work better as a tablet, but on the flip side, it's just like, well, if you give it a kickstand, then it can be a tablet. You know, kickstand and a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse. Bam, job done, you know.
Have they actually confirmed that it's, like, got Bluetooth? Oh, yeah, Bluetooth 5. Because I was half expecting to randomly scroll through that and it'd be like, oh, yeah, psych, it hasn't got Bluetooth.
Shit.
Or something weird.
What the fuck is going on with this?
But yeah. It very much feels like it's one of those things where it's either going to be incredibly hot and loud and have a really short battery life, or it's going to be tolerable and not actually very good for the money kind of thing still.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't want to be, as with many things, never buy the first generation of a product is kind of my hot take on this. I think this is going to be a reasonable product. I'm not going to buy one myself. However, I have a suspicion that a second generation one, if it starts taking on, I'd be like, you know what, that'd be a cool thing to have. I might start getting interested in that. Are there any SMD components on this? Nope, it's all through hole. So this should be a fun kit. I've been sitting on this kit for a long time. And yeah, I was probably going to do some kind of dedicated stream for it, but I'm like, well, no, we do practical stuff on the tech show now, so why not?
According to the official specs, The official weight of the device is half that of the Switch?
Wait, I thought it was twice. Have I
It's
just...
120 grams, apparently.
Have I just grossly misinterpreted two stats that I saw?
Oh, God. Oh, there's a dock. There's a dock on the bottom of it where they've put the weight for the dock.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah,
Right.
Fine. Yes, I was going to say, there's no way it's half the weight of the Switch. You know, like, there is no way that thing is half the weight of a Switch. That
so confused me because I just quick scrolled and the stats continued, and then I was like, add the deck to your wish list. Yeah, okay. 120 grams. What? But no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Although the fact that there is an official dock, what does the official dock do then?
It docks with it over
fair enough.
USB-C.
Yeah.
And gives you DisplayPort 1.4, HDMI 2.0.
And Ethernet and stuff. Yeah.
Ethernet, USB 3.1, USB 2,
Yeah.
and also power.
Yeah. Does it
not bad.
sit on the dock or is it just a cable
It
connection?
seems to just be a cable.
Yeah. Fair enough.
The inference from that is it's
Yeah.
just a USB cable.
Yeah.
So, interesting. But yeah. USB power delivery pass report, yeah.
Oh yeah, does it have a touch screen? That was the other thing I keep forgetting to check.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I
No,
mean, it doesn't...
It doesn't mention it on the spec
Yeah.
list. But
I
it's
suppose
got,
it doesn't
like, the
need one.
touchpad
Yeah,
things.
because it's got the two haptic pads. Yeah.
It's got the haptic pads and the joint sticks.
And also the touch screen
It might end up being...
the touch screen on the Switch isn't that useful. It's very circumstantial as to when the Switch's touchscreen is actually useful. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And that is a diode.
Gen 2 Zen flopped. What are you on about?
Gen 2 Zen, that was when it kicked off. Yeah.
What are you on about?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. No, Gen 2 Zen did very well. And
also,
then
don't forget that Gen 2 Zen is Ryzen 3000.
Yes, true. Yeah, 2000 Ryzen 2000 did well because that was when Ryzen actually started becoming good. And then Ryzen 3000 is when it became a wrecking machine because that's when it overtook Intel, kind of thing. Ryzen 2 was okay, yeah. I think Ryzen 1 was a bit of a flop, but then on the flip side though, it was one of those things where it's like it wasn't great, but it was also a really, really, really important product for AMD.
Yeah, it was the fact that actually to kind of prove a point to myself, I reread all of the Ryzen 1 reviews from like Anantech, or from like and watched the ones from like Gamers Nexus and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I went through all of that just to kind of see what the feeling in the industry was at the time.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's impossible to get that feeling now looking at the products because you know what came after it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a case of looking at it going, did they look at it and go, these products are crap, but holy crap, look how much it's improved?
Yeah.
Or did they go, these products have a niche and look how much it's improved?
Yes.
Or were they like, oh my god, it was amazing?
So what was the answer? What did they think of it?
Basically, it has its niches, but for the love of God, don't buy it for a gaming PC.
Yeah, interesting.
Was basically the response.
Yeah, because it was still a matter of why wouldn't you get Intel? Yeah.
Yeah, because Intel is still giving you like 25% performance uplifts in games, sort of thing. So it was like you're spending what is arguably more money to get lesser performance.
Yeah.
But only in games, sort of thing.
The hell.
Yeah.
6.7K.
Yes. Very good.
Yeah, OG Ryzen is quite good for the money on the used market.
As long as you're getting it at like £25 a processor.
Yeah, that's the problem. The IPC on it sucks.
Because you can get Zen Plus at like 50.
Yeah.
It's like second-hand 2700Xs are like 60 quid. Or at least they were. Last time I looked. So it's just kind of a case of it's like, for that much, it's like...
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd go first gen.
Yeah.
Because if you go second gen, at least you can upgrade to 5000 series.
Yeah,
later,
it kind of also
wanted to.
It kind of also begs the question that if you're going if you're going to sort of that point, you may as well buy a second-hand Intel seat, like go Skylake Intel from that era, because like with Intel Skylake, you've also got all of the overclocking that you could do on it as well.
Yeah,
Whereas,
which is obviously
because that's
a niche interest, but it's another interest.
Yeah, that's right. And if you're buying old because you're low on money, you could buy an older Skylake CPU and then clock the balls off of it and have something that's still got pretty decent performance these days.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is it's not even difficult to do that. I'm not being one of those like sort of, oh yeah, no, just whack that up to 6 gigahertz, bros. It's like, no, with old Intels, it's really easy to get a fairly modest performance boost just by giving it an all-core overclock and bumping it up by a couple of hundred megahertz. Give it a little bit more voltage. It's not that difficult to tune that in.
Yeah.
Like with Ryzen, overclocking is complicated. It can be done in certain circumstances, but it's a bit complicated. Whereas Intel, they do still have very simple and direct overclocking. You give it more voltage, and you add multiplier.
Yeah.
So, B450 carbon AC and 2700X. Yeah. Was it? What's your 2000 series you've got? Was that a 2700X? Yeah. How's that one doing? Is that still doing well?
Fine.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's really hard to tell when you're CPU bound in games, isn't it?
Well, I don't use it in a gaming PC.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of It's very hard to tell when you actually need more. I've completely forgotten what this resistor is that I was about to drop in. I think it was a 1K.
I've entirely forgotten what the stuff is.
Yes, it's a 1K. And just in advance for everyone who's just like, learn your color codes. I can't be arsed. So
But yeah, it's like, it's kind of the case where it's like, you've got 2700Xs going for like £70 on eBay.
70, yeah.
So it's a case of, I don't know why you'd go first gen.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't afford that, then it's kind of a case of, you're getting down into the weeds of, are you sure you can afford to build a computer kind of thing, in a way, I guess.
Yeah. Even like a 1600 AF is still like 70 quid. So it's like, I can get a 1600 AF for 70 quid.
Yeah.
Or I can get a 2700X for 70 quid.
Yeah.
And the 1600 AF is a 2600.
Yeah.
It's a case of, or I can get a 2700 for the same price.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of the 1600 AF there is... That's
sadly overpriced because it didn't have the supply.
Yeah, and it's commanding a higher value as well, just because it's a newer processor, or it's a newer release, and
it
obviously
got released more recently.
Yeah, if it's a more recent CPU, then it will be priced high, even with the equivalent performance. Because we see the same thing in graphics cards. It's why some of the sometimes some of the older graphics cards can be cracking hidden gems, because their performance is still on par with newer products, but just because they're old, it lowers the value, even though they're still actually quite good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. But yeah, 2700X is the equivalent to a 4790K for single thread scores. Yeah. But then obviously, as soon as you go into anything multi-threaded, the Ryzen is going to destroy it. Certainly, because I've got a 4790K in the stream computer at the moment, and I'm guessing that a 3600 kind of trades blows with a 2700X, roughly, and the 3600 decimates the 4790K for real life usage.
The 3600 is just flat faster.
Yeah, the 3600 was an astonishingly good little CPU. Have I still got one? Yes, I have got one. Yes, I have got one kicking around.
I have one somewhere.
Yes, because it was out on loan for months, but I actually have it back again now. Yes, it was my 3800X that I've sold. Yeah. What kind of soldering iron do I use? Today I'm going to use electronic soldering irons, and I'm going to use I've got two. I'm going to use either my TS100 or my Pinesteel. Vote now in the chat for which soldering iron I should use today.
Wow.
They both use the same tips, so they're functionally identical.
Wow. That was a good deal.
And they have the same firmware on them. So what did you spot?
3600 for £71.80.
3600 for £71.80. Yeah, that was a good price. Yeah.
Because for £1.80 more than a 2700X. 3600. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
3200G for 70.
Stuff Parts Faster will be here for 6 hours. You shush, Mr. Guru. However, you're absolutely right. I do actually need to speed up. I do actually need to go faster. 10k resistors. Let's go. I'm trying to actually be talking while I do this as well, but it's difficult.
It looks like there are some RAM kits that aren't horrifically priced on eBay right now. And it's just like, yeah, I guess.
What sort of thing are you seeing? Because RAM prices...
Just like 3600 kits for like 60 quid.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, because I was struggling to find any kind of RAM kit that you'd actually want to buy for less than 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was struggling with that recently, and I'm like, really? Is that where we're at right now?
Yeah, it surprises me, or surprised me just how much of a price increase there was. Just looking at any speed, but still... but just first word latency of less than 10 nanoseconds.
Yeah.
If you instantly jump to like minimum price £200 for a 16 gig kit.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, okay. And that's not even particularly extreme.
Yeah.
But it is, yeah.
But do those RAM kits have RGB?
Who cares?
Probably not at that price, although you can get them sometimes.
There were some of the Corsair Vengeance Pro Max Dubry light bar editions.
Yeah. I need to do my heckin' RGB video. I need to do a lot of videos.
This is why RGB is bad and none of you should have any.
I should make a YouTube channel.
What, saying RGB is bad?
No, just so I can make videos and put them on there.
I am making a YouTube channel that tells people they're wrong.
So that's just everyone keeps going sort of, oh, does Caradog have a channel and stuff like that? And it's just, you should just come on one day and be like, I made a channel. On it is one video that just explains all the ways in which RGB is bad and shouldn't exist.
All the ways that you are wrong and inferior for liking RGB.
Yeah.
A love letter from Caradog.
Just be one of those channels that blows up but only has like 10 videos. Which happens now and then. Now and then I go to a channel that I like and I'm be like, I'm going to sit and binge their old videos. And I go to their uploads page and there's only like their 10 most recent videos there. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Did they just delete all their old stuff? But yeah.
I found you when you were new.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They just blew up really fast. And case in point, it was, have you ever heard of Stuff Made Here?
No.
Okay. They're a maker channel.
I presumed.
Yeah. Yeah. Look. Shush. Anyway. But yeah, I wanted to binge Stuff Made Here's channel. And when I actually looked, he's only actually got about 20 uploads. And he's on like 3 million subscribers. And I was like, oh, did you just delete all your old stuff when you blew up? Because some channels do that. They just delete their old stuff when they get big. But yeah. He's done some really rad stuff lately.
God. Yeah, a couple of his videos have been getting pushed really, really, really hard.
Yeah, he's done some collaborations in the right places, either by chance or deliberately. He's collaborated with the right people and gotten big reach. But like his most recent video, the one that says £17,875 of tools to make this. Oh yeah,
that video has been getting pumped everywhere.
Yeah, it's a workshop tour. People love workshop tours. It's one of the reasons I got to do the 100,000 subscriber special and then do a shop tour video, because that's just, if I did a shop tour video, that's free views right there. That video will perform well for no other reason by virtue of the fact that it's a tour of someone else's pad. You know, it's literally MTV, welcome to my crib. People love that stuff, man. People love it.
I'm always so confused by when you look at the YouTube homepage when it's on a generic account. You know, when it's on an incognito
not logged
tab.
in. Yeah.
And just like the stuff is on there. I'm like, do people really watch this drivel?
Yeah.
Is this really the lowest common denominator I need to go for?
Yeah. It kind of makes me sad about it. It's one of the things that makes me very annoyed at YouTube not really, like, YouTube should push the maker community more. And I don't say that just because I consider myself, like, in terms of like, if you did really broad categories, I think I would count as a maker channel because I'm making, fixing, repairing, that kind of thing, you know. And I think the maker community is the most powerful part of YouTube. But apparently that's just not what they want to sell. And like a lot of people, one of the ways of criticizing YouTube competitors is you go to the let's say let's take Odyssey, for example. You go to the Odyssey homepage and you go, right, I go to odyssey.com and what's the first thing I see is what these channels that are on their homepage, that's what they think their website is about. And a lot of the time you can look at that and be like, there's a lot of questionable content here that is not necessarily good or bad, but not necessarily what you'd want the first impression to be. However, when you look at YouTube, it's actually just as bad, if not worse, because, you know, it's just drivel, like you say, you know.
I have never watched a video by the Mr. of Beasts.
Oh, Mr. Beast.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, he has done a fantastic job of curating interest in his content. And he has absolutely nailed all of it. Yeah. Everything. Absolutely all of it. And I do not deride him.
No.
As a person as well, he's actually really quite nice.
Yeah.
He was on a Tom YouTubers, Scott video.
Yeah. Love him or hate him, they know what they're doing. Yeah.
In some cases, that almost makes it worse. It's like, you know you're doing this.
Yeah.
You know you are doing the same thing as infant alcohol syndrome. I mean, what? Hi!
Yeah, but that's the thing. I've forgotten what resistors I'm putting in. Mr. Guru will shout at me. No,
Mr. Guru, not again! No!
22k. But yeah, I mean, we've had this conversation on the show before, but it's like the old issue of clickbaiting and stuff like that. Is all the big ones, they all clickbait because that's what they have to do. But at the same token, I'm just like, I wish that the big guys could all say, look, we're big and we have the power to influence change. Can we all agree that clickbait is shit and try and spearhead an anti-clickbait movement? You know, can we just all agree to stop doing it so we don't have to do it?
The problem is with that, though, all it takes is one person to not do it and they'll gain all of those views that the other people have given up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a case of like, this is a lose-lose for them.
Yeah. I can dream, Harold.
But you're a chair.
Right. I'm going to actually turn on the soldering iron now. By popular request, we're going to use the pine saw.
Tom Scar.
Did you know there's like 20 Asduff movies now?
Yeah, because it's the only thing he's got to try and remain relevant.
Yeah.
Big sad.
Yeah.
Imagine if he hadn't gone completely off the rails.
Yeah, I mean, he's come back on the rails now, I believe. Last time I saw him, he was collabing with another YouTuber.
He has actually sought the dire medical assistance he required.
Yes, and when I saw him on that video, I was like, oh, it's Tom Scar. I haven't seen him in a hot minute. And I was like, he's looking great. You know, like, because there was certainly a time where I saw Tom Scar and I was like, dude, what happened, man? And obviously depression happened, but yeah.
And also being a little bit creepy.
Maybe, yeah.
However, yes.
But
anyway, soldering.
Yes. At the very least, though, the last I saw of Tom Scar, I saw him in someone else's video, and I was like, he's looking great. You know, I hope he's in a better place now. But yes.
Oh no.
Right.
I hope he's in a better place.
Well, I don't. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I've got the wrong screwdriver to remove the tip that I want to use from the TS100. I should have just used the TS100. It would have been easier. Also, I missed it up there. Is JB with the $4 sticker. Thank you very much for the super chat, my dude. Much appreciated. Hang on, so I need to find my T6.
Oh dear.
What's going on in chat?
Yes, he is in Devon, says Teltag. I don't know what the context is for that because I can only read the bottom 3 lines.
Oh, Tom Scar is in Devon apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say if you mean us, then no, we are in Dorset.
Come on, Teltag.
Which is a completely different location to Devon.
Yes.
Despite the fact that it's basically next door. Is it Devon then Cornwall or Cornwall then Devon?
Devon then Cornwall.
There we go. So we're next to Devon-ish. And we can argue about who invented the cream tea. There is an argument about that, I believe.
Oh.
Soldering, everyone. Soldering. And maybe some tech news. Have we got any other tech news? What else happened recently? How are you getting on with Windows 11? Is it going anywhere? Or is it still because they're on the second public build of that is out now, isn't it? Has it upgraded much, or is it still just it's the new skinned Windows? News at 11.
It is something. I feel
you don't sound super stoked about it.
I feel the same way about it as you felt about Windows 8 previews.
Okay, I'm going to need more clarification because I hated Windows 8 when it came out.
No, the previews, the preview releases. I'm thinking more of your opinion of the preview releases when you're like, I'm going to get to like this because I have to.
Yeah, okay. So does that mean that you're not really very enamored with it, but you're just but it's the new version of Windows, so I'm going to get on that bandwagon?
It's very much a case of you have fixed a lot of things that weren't broken.
Yeah.
It feels like an awful lot of not broken things have been fixed. I still have absolutely no idea how to do an awful lot of the stuff in the sound control panel because it isn't obvious. And I'm walking people through this is going to be a pain in the dick when they're on the wrong audio device because it's really not clear which one is the selected audio device.
Have they got an easily selectable one? I should zoom in on this while I'm actually doing...
Zoom! Enhance!
We are an hour into the stream and I've started soldering and I'm doing it from about a 30,000 foot overview. There we go. So, yeah, on Windows 10, you click on the volume control in the bottom right and you can select outputs there. Can you do an equivalent of that in Windows 11? Because that was incredibly handy in Windows 10.
I should also probably try it on a device that hasn't got 1,100 audio devices for the first time.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to do this on my desktop, my PC at home, and obviously I've got all of the outputs from the Stream Deck.
Yeah.
Plus I've got my TV, plus I've got my Bluetooth devices.
Yeah.
So it's busy. It's very busy. But it's still a case of Windows 10 made this nice and clear.
Yeah. I need to actually get it installed on something so I can actually start giving first impressions and stuff like that.
The vast majority of Windows 11, I'm yeah, cool, whatever.
Fine. It's Windows 11. Who
cares? Windows 11. Yeah. It's absolutely fine. There's nothing broken here. Absolutely fine. Nothing to complain about. There are some parts I've picked up and I've just kind of gone, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I've ever looked at a new version of Windows and gone, I don't like it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Literally the first time ever.
Yeah.
The Charms bar on Windows 8, I went, cool, okay.
Yeah.
Full screen Metro apps in Windows 8, I went, yeah, okay. Some of the settings panel, I'm just
That makes me a little bit sad because when I saw the screenshots of the new settings panel, I thought it looked really nice. I thought they'd basically gone the
settings
Apple
panel
route.
is fabulous by comparison.
Okay, yeah. Certainly.
However, at the same time, certain parts of it, you're just like, it's one of those things where you're more annoyed that it was so close to being good.
Yeah. Yeah, that can be very frustrating.
It's kind of hit that point where so much of it was so close to being good that it's now more frustrating that it isn't.
Yeah. And also, like, if Windows 10 is anything to judge by, we can safely assume that we're not going to see any radical changes for quite some time. Especially as it seems like with the preview of Windows 11, they've kind of focused most heavily on the appearance of it first of all.
Yeah.
It seems, doesn't it?
Yes, there are features that I feel are weirdly missing, like the ability to move the taskbar.
Yeah, can anyone confirm that in the chat? Are there any hacks for moving the taskbar? Because I'm sure I saw a video somewhere about that.
There was, for the very first dev preview, a registry hack you could do that apparently broke almost everything, but it forced the taskbar to the top of the screen.
Okay, so it's not really... Yeah, okay.
There was a hacky ability to somewhat hack it around to make it go to the top of the screen.
This is why I hate YouTube video titles, because they go, oh, do this in Windows 11. But what they don't mention is you don't actually want to do this in Windows 11.
So yeah, so there was that. There was also in the very first build, there was a way of forcing it to load the Windows 10 start menu, because apparently the Windows 10 start menu was still in the very first dev build.
Not surprising. Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a case of also I've had a weird issue with the Windows 11 start menu where sometimes it just won't search. It doesn't register that it's picking up key presses.
Yes.
But I had that on Windows 10. I've had that once or twice on Windows 10.
There are certain circumstances
then a month or so later, fixed.
Yeah.
New build update, new random Windows update, ta-da, fixed.
Yeah, I remember, because you had that as actually a long-term thing, because there are certain circumstances on the start menu where search will not function. Like, if you've just dragged a tile, you cannot search. You have to close the start menu and open it again before it will search. But your search was just completely dead, wasn't it? Yeah.
It just randomly wouldn't actually... No, the start menu itself was just completely dead.
Yeah.
Somehow. And it was like...
Yeah.
Whatever. Fine. Oh, yeah, I couldn't click on anything. So that's where I started searching for everything.
Yeah, oh, yes.
Basically. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm keyboarding literally everything through the start menu because clicking doesn't work for reasons unknown.
Time to install Linux and command line everything instead.
Yes.
Sorry, I was trying to make a veiled jab at Linux because I don't hate Linux, but I'm just going to keep jabbing at it because it's very funny. And it always gets a response from people going, oh, actually, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. That.
I don't hate Linux.
Anyway. But yeah, but like, yeah, there's just a weird thing where sometimes, like, I'll press the Windows key to start typing for it to search, and it just won't.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, okay, I've had this before. It will magically fix itself.
Yeah.
Just weird little finicky things like that.
Build
also,
updates.
It's a dev build.
Yeah. That's
kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, I think that's also the question, is that I'm stuck in that thing where I want to install Windows 11 on something so I can start getting some time on Windows 11, but also, like, but following my own advice, don't install it on anything that you need day to day, but at the same time, if it's not something I need, then I'm not going to use it. So, like, I'm just like, I don't know where to do it. I might install it on the front of house laptop, because the front of house laptop is something that I use every day. But if that laptop falls over, it's not a big deal.
There's nothing saved to it.
The only thing I actually use it for is data entry with customers, and I could get literally any other device and do that within 10 seconds.
I could pull out my iPad and do that.
Yeah, that's it. So I think the front of house laptop would be a good place to put it. It also means that if someone comes in and goes, oh, I heard about this Windows 11 thing, I can be like, sure, here's the current dev build kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. One thing I am intrigued by is I've no idea if it's because the build updates are smaller, but the 2 dev build updates that I've had since I've been on the dev build have been like, complete.
Yeah.
So I've no idea if that's because of it. But yeah, it's just been like near instantaneous for the build updates, and I was just being like, okay, interesting. I also like that they give a little estimate for how fast they think it's going to install, which is nice.
Oh, that's cool, yeah. Does that estimate seem vaguely accurate?
No, it seems far too slow.
Well, too slow is better than too fast, I guess.
But then, again, also my desktop.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So I'm kind of saying, for the average person's computer,
yeah.
I feel like it's probably about the same.
Yeah.
It's probably about right. It may be a little bit too fast for someone with a hard drive, but I don't know if having an SSD is a requirement now. Oh, God.
Oof,
Can I still buy a computer with a hard drive from an OEM?
Yes, you can.
That will meet the minimum specifications for Windows 11?
I would say yes, because at the moment, case in point, on the Dell website, if you're shopping Inspiron, you can still buy a basic Inspiron laptop with a 1 terabyte hard drive in it.
As well? Yeah?
No.
As in like a secondary drive, right?
No. The main system drive...
The secondary drive, yeah?
No. Anakin Skywalker keeps on glaring. No. It's got a 1 terabyte hard drive in it as its main storage. Obviously, as soon as you go up by one or two... It's the old case of, they say laptops starting from £300, but the spec that you'd actually want to buy is actually 400. So yeah,
I hasten to disagree, because that specifically says PCIe NVMe solid state drive.
Oh, okay.
That's £280.
Okay, I saw one
horrifying.
Somewhere. But then on the flip side, though, like a lot of their low end laptops are 4 gigs of RAM, which is yeah, and 4 gigs of RAM, that's a deal breaker.
It's also got a Celeron N4020.
Yeah,
whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah, no, that's a big note from me.
So right, to get something that isn't an Celeron or an Athlon Silver, oh god,
yeah.
Oh my... Intel Ryzen. Intel Ryzen. Right. The cheapest thing you can get with a processor that isn't a calculator is £418 and a penny. Which comes with a Ryzen 3 3250U, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 256 gig.
Intel's a bit hit and miss. There's a couple of good ones in there, but they're surrounded by bad spec for the price laptops.
And then there's,
Intel is still playing the game of confuse them with numbers and eventually they'll buy something. And it's like, they've got some good options there, but you really have to go digging to find the right one.
For 99p more, you can get an 11th gen i3, so an i3 1115G4 with Windows 10 Home S mode.
Ew.
4 gigs of RAM and 128 gig SSD. Or I can spend 99p less and get a Ryzen. With more RAM and a larger.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
The other issue as well is that Dell
not.
What? Dell keep refusing to get onto the affordable 13 and 14-inch bandwagons as well.
The specs on these, they make no sense.
I really wish Dell would start making 14-inch Inspirons. The only ones they've got are the 2-in-1s, which cost a lot of money. And 14-inch laptops are magical.
What? So I can spend more money by, admittedly, £1.41, but I go down to an Athlon Silver, I go down to 4 gigs of RAM, and I go down to 128 gig SSD. So I'm spending more money, and I'm downgrading every component.
Yeah.
Dell?
Their website's weird, man. I swear their specs are computer generated, and they have algorithms that just generate the website. It's the only thing that makes sense. Either that, or they've got like a team of 100 people doing it, and they're not talking to each other. I saw someone in the...
sense.
Martin Barker asks, what am I creating? I think it's a stop clock, or stopwatch, I think.
Apparently there's a 13-inch
got lots of chippies to put on it in a minute.
There's a 13-inch in Spron.
Yeah, but look at that. It starts at 650 quid, man.
Yeah, but it comes with an i5 and a whopping 8 gigs of soldered RAM.
Yeah.
8 gigs of soldered
it.
RAM.
You know,
for 650 quid.
Yeah, no thanks. Like, just give me a 13-inch or a 14-inch i3 laptop with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. I will sell 100 of them. It really frustrates me that they don't have the spec that people actually want to buy, or that people should actually be buying.
The 14-inch 2-in-1 starts at 520.
Yeah, again, like, this is why HP are killing it, because HP sell a myriad of affordable 13-inch and 14-inch laptops, and that's the size that everyone wants right now, 13-inch and 14-inch. But obviously, because it's a HP, it's bollocks and it'll break. Yeah. Let's see, 10 microfarad.
The cheapest Ryzen 5000 laptop you can get out of Dell is 580 quid.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. A 580, I'm not. A 580, I kind of want to be in a higher end than in Spron. You know, I kind of want to be looking at latitudes or something like that.
Did Dell ever make a longitude?
They missed a trick. It would have been hilarious.
That should have, honestly, surely that should have been their two models. Should have been a latitude and a longitude.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, no one would know which one they had. Everyone would be like, oh, I've got a latitude. No, wait, it's a longitude. No, I can't remember which. It would have been just for the joke, which is never a good thing. And yeah, I agree, Teltac. I love latitudes. Latitudes are for life. Although I really want an XPS just for the infinity display. Although the latitudes have got infinity displays now anyway, I think.
They make 30 different 17-inch screens. See? They're not bad. They're just all Alienwares. Yeah. Which makes them bad.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, there's also the XPS 17 that starts at basically $2,000.
The Dell Precisions are good as well, yes. They're workstation class. What is this? 10 microfarad.
I find this a bit odd. Alienware N17R3. It's got an i7-10875H. Intel, please fix your names.
Yeah.
With 32 gigs of DDR4 2666.
Yeah, because that's what the CPU officially supports. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Hopefully it's not 16 rank stuff like that, recent thing that's been doing the rounds. After I saw that...
Well, yeah, but 16 rank is literally designed for laptops.
Yeah.
16 rank exists for laptops.
Yeah. It's not mandatory. Well, it's not something they have to use, though, because, since that LTT video came out that sort of blew the lid off of 16 rank or X16... 1R X16 memory modules, I've actually been looking when I take memory out to see which it is, and I have seen quite a lot of 16 X16 modules. They are out there. They're quite common.
Yeah.
A lot of MacBooks have got them.
Laptops.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Apparently you can put the taskbar on Windows 11 on the left in personalization.
Can you?
Yeah. Surely it's not that easy.
Can you? Because it's not in there on either of the PCs I've used.
Yeah.
And it's not on the one that Flink's used.
Yeah.
So...
Citation needed.
So, sorry, what's the root? Personalization and taskbar behaviors and taskbar alignment center or left. Oh no, that just puts the icons to the left of the taskbar.
Oh, it doesn't
move
the actual taskbar
to the left of the screen.
Yeah.
No, I want the taskbar on the left of the screen.
Yeah.
And I want it on my second screen.
Yes.
My non-primary display.
Yeah. Vertically along the left-hand side.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. And yes, as Teltac said, we're currently using the the Pine 64 PineSol, which is...
Pine.
Yes. The Pine 64 products are awesome. Pine, send me free stuff, please. because I don't have an affiliate link, but you make cool stuff. I want to look at the Pine 64 watch when it's ready.
I feel like
it's not ready yet, or it's not ready for me yet.
Pine stuff is excellent.
Yeah.
If you know how to Linux command line.
Yeah. If you're a developer, yeah.
If you're an actual Linux developer.
Yeah.
Developer.
Yeah, which I am not. So I'm not ready for a I'm not ready for a Pine 64 Pine watch. However,
or a Pine phone.
No. I'm not super interested in the Pine phone. It's not for me. However, the Pine watch, when they've got a version of that that's like stable, because I think it's almost there, but when that thing is ready to go, I really want one. It sounds like it's perfect for me.
Maybe, possibly.
Do the transistors next. I agree. I'm feeling the transistors. We're going to put those in.
I want it up the left-hand side of the screen because that's what I want.
Yeah.
Because I have more than one screen.
See, the funny thing is, having the taskbar vertical makes an awful lot of sense on modern 16:9 displays, but I always feel gross when I have mine there. S8050.
See, also my screen layout will probably make people unhappy. Just in general, because the way that I have like my taskbars across various screens and stuff. Because
I feel like there's no right way to do it when you have a 55-inch TV as your main screen.
Yeah, or where you run like 3 monitors all in different like orientations.
Yeah. I think that's the main reason why I'll always stick with just a dual screen setup is I can't bring myself to have an asymmetrical screen layout.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I swapped my screens around because I used to have my portrait screen as my right-hand screen, and I swapped it to my left-hand screen, and then have landscape, portrait, as opposed to landscape, portrait.
See, that's fine.
It's very weird how it feels completely different.
Yeah.
And
I think what bothers me is when I see a lot of the time I see a lot of streamer setups. Like a lot of big streamers have big, complicated multi-screen setups, but they always have enormous gaps between the screens, and that always bothers me because I want the smallest amount of gaps between my monitors. Because I'm like, if I'm having to do a lot of panning with my head, then that's wasted head movement, which sounds really annoying to...
If I'm having to make large movements, I may as well be in VR.
Yeah, pretty much. S8050.
I'm waiting for like the next generation of VR headsets that have much higher DPI screens and much better Fresnel lenses and stuff. So
how are you getting on with yours?
I haven't used it.
You haven't used it? All right.
No.
All right. Do you want to talk about it?
I haven't used it since it left here.
Okay.
Which is kind of entirely what I expected to happen, to be honest.
Yeah. Caradog bought a... which one did you get again?
The Vive Cosmos.
Yeah, Caradog bought a Vive Cosmos, and he brought it down to the shop on the weekend he got it. I had some friends over at the weekend, and we tried it out, and I thought it was awesome. It was my first time using VR properly after just having a cursory look at a dev kit years ago, and I really liked it. He got it at a crazy good price. But yeah, haven't used it since. But yeah, fair enough. Okay, but
no.
You're not at the I'm going to send it back stage though.
No, I can't be bothered.
You can't be bothered to send it back. I mean, to be honest, for the price you paid for it, then yeah. If you paid list price, then obviously that might be.
Yeah. It's I started playing Senua's.
The hell?
What's it? Oh no, I've forgotten what the name of the game is. Oh, Senua. I want to say like Senua's Revenge, but it isn't. I started playing that with it, and I was just like, oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Because it's a game you can sacrifice. Thank you, Telltag. It's a game where you can play keyboard and mouse or controller, but you can also look around in a chair.
Yeah, so it's a seated position.
Yeah, but it's a third person camera.
Okay, yeah.
But like you turning your head movement controls the character's head movements.
Yeah.
So then you look to the left, the character looks to the left, and the camera pans behind them. It's very well done.
Okay, yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, that's cool. But I didn't get into the game when I first played the game.
Okay,
and this was the second time I picked it up because I was like, oh yes, I remember. I remembered that it supported VR.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a go. And like the VR-ness of it is fabulous. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
It's an excellent demo of VR adding a je ne sais quoi to a game.
Yeah.
But I never particularly got into the game itself.
Yeah.
So I kind of have
if you're playing a game just because it's VR, that's the wrong reason to be playing the game.
Yes. However, it's kind of a case of I absolutely would play it again.
Yeah.
But also, I find it really hard to actually click play on a game.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah. I think a lot of people can relate to that. Yeah, the amount of games we've got in our libraries that have 0 hours played.
Yeah. Also, the other difficulty with VR is I can't tab out and chat to someone. That's my biggest issue with it.
Yeah.
Is I cannot play VR at a time when I think that someone or people's may be demanding my attention because I have no way of swapping to it.
Yeah. You know what would be really cool is if you could have a Alt-Tab button on your controls which would slide in a secondary screen where you could have which would just show you your secondary monitor as a slide-in, so you could just glance at Discord, for example.
I need to play around with the Windows Mixed Reality portals and the Windows VR features to see if I can kind of bodge something around for that. Also, there's like virtual desktop as well, or something like that, or VR desktop or something. There's a specific program that 3D-arises the desktop in the sense of launching programs and browser websites and stuff, and kind of try and mess around with that and see if I can bodge something in for that would work. So yeah, I tried playing Phasmo. Oh no, I have used it a couple of times. I tried playing Phasmo sitting down.
Yeah.
It did not go well.
No, I can't imagine it would.
It did not go well.
Yeah, Phasmo, you definitely got to be standing.
Because the character was very much in a constant 3/4 crouch.
Yeah.
And I couldn't quite pick up stuff.
Yeah.
That was on the floor, and I couldn't quite place stuff on the floor without kind of going.
Yeah. Phasmo's a really tricky one as well, though, because like when I tried Phasmo, this is Phasmophobia, by the way, for anyone who hadn't picked that up. I tried Phasmo when you brought it around, and the issue there was the level is, even though we had a largish room to play in, the level was just at the point where I'm just going to immediately use the glide controls because there's not enough space for me to move around.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you need to be standing, but also there's 0 point in having a large play space for it either.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I really want to get into it, and I feel like you've got a good opportunity because of how you managed to get a pretty decent headset for very little money.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's not a case that I'm like, oh, it's terrible and it's worthless. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you just haven't used it much yet.
Yeah. I also grabbed a couple of side-by-side 3D videos.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And skipped through that, and I was just like, yeah, I could kind of get into this.
Yeah.
This is an experience.
Yeah.
I could get into this. The problem I had was that there was no way of calibrating where the center was.
Okay, yeah.
Because it was a case of, obviously, when you're watching content, you kind of want to sit back a bit. And like if watching a film or whatever, it's a case of sitting something like this, or like this, or whatever, or like, head back on the headrest and looking up. The problem is the center of the display was calibrated to there.
Ah, I see.
So I had to sit like this to watch it and actually actively look down to look at the center of the frame.
Yeah, that's no bueno.
And I was just like, I feel like someone fucked up with the calibration on the 3D on this one.
Yeah, and again, that's the thing. Any kind of motion control has to have a recenter button, because it's going, like, just for calibration. Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to drift. and no matter how good it is going to drift. And also, like you say, you may want to deliberately center off center because you're sitting in a weird way, because you're slouching or you're laying back, and and you might want to slouch so your center point is there, so you're not having to do that all the time.
It's also the fact that it'd be amazing if you could use VR laying on your back.
Yeah.
For watching films and stuff. Because being able to do that would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
It was also the other thing that would be great is if I could watch 3D videos without needing without being in VR. So I can watch the 3D videos just as 3D videos in the headsets.
Yes, yeah.
As opposed to being in a 3D world.
Yeah.
So you could put on a headset like that and just watch films on a plane.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, without having to be like sort of, okay, we've got to go into the 3D universe and load it from the
so
universe.
So you're sat in your seat in the aeroplane going,
yes.
Don't worry, guys, I'm just selecting a film.
Yeah.
And whilst I'm not saying you wouldn't look like a complete freak, it'd still be a case of if you're sat in your seat just there watching a film, no one's actually going to care. But if you're there kind of going, hold on a minute, guys, don't worry, randomly touching them up and smacking them in the face with a wand, they're going to be very annoyed.
Yes. That's definitely going to limit the adoption of VR. Kind of in the same way as one of the reasons why a lot of people very rarely use voice-activated digital assistants like Siri and Google and stuff like that, is that it's still kind of weird to just go, hey, whoever. I wanted to give an example, and I was like, what can I say that's not going to trigger a load of things for people?
Hey, Jose!
Yeah. Hey, Jose. It's still, it's just... I mean, there's always going to be some mad lads out there who are more than happy to walk down the street and just be like, ha, rah, 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 to their phone. And then also, like, it has become normalized because, like, when you see someone walking down the street with just talking to no one, immediately you're just like, oh, they're on the phone. They've got headphones in or they've got earbuds in and they're on the phone. That's normalized, but it's still a bit weird to be like, to just start hey Joseing just in the middle of a room. And
my problem as well is that I'm yet to find a virtual assistant that has been competent or faster than me taking the device out of my pocket, unlocking the device, and then doing the thing myself.
Siri can do it depending on the use case. I haven't used Siri in a long time, but when I was running an iPhone, I did start using Siri because it was really good just to be like, hey Siri, set an alarm for 9 a.m. And it would just, and like, if it was like 8 p.m. and you said set an alarm for 9 o'clock, it would say set an alarm for 9 p.m. You'd be like, make it in the morning. And it would say, okay, set an alarm for 9 a.m. And you'd be like, yes, that's correct. It was really good and intuitive, and like, or like reminders and things like that. Because for me, the idea of taking my phone out, opening the calendar and typing something in, that's too much effort for me. But just saying, hey Siri, set a reminder for the 22nd of November, Family Day, and it will just enter that. Now, I don't know if Google can do that or not because I don't use the Google Assistant. I need to try it out. But that is one thing that it's very good at. Just to finish, a couple of people were asking about the Pinecil again. I'm currently powering from a DC supply. I've got a 19 volt laptop power supply plugged into this guy. But you can power this from a power bank or a battery pack or whatever you want. It's got all kinds of Type-C power delivery or barrel jack. You can power it from whatever you want. So yeah.
I was seeing if I could spy your XT60 to barrel jack down there.
No,
only because your battery,
boxes.
Only because the battery was there.
Yeah, I was going to say I've got a battery handy there, but I don't know where my the cables are out and about somewhere. So yeah. Andrew Dicker with 20 Canadian dollars. Thank you very much. You've always missed the live streams, but you've always wanted to thank you for the live for the amazing content. Your channel has taught me a lot about computers and have inspired me to successfully flash motherboard BIOSes. Good job, Andrew. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, and I'm glad that's helped. That's super cool. well done for having a go. That's exactly the kind of success story I want to hear. No matter how simple it is, if you've watched one of my videos and it's made you be like, I'm going to try this for myself, and then you've done a thing, op success. So yeah, big thanks for that. You may continue.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah, because I kind of cut in.
You did.
Yeah. Has the moment passed now?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
You've spoiled the mood.
Okay.
Anyway, no, I have a Nest Mini that I got for free.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For some reason.
Oh yeah, because they were giving those things away with Pixels, weren't they? With Pixel phones.
I don't know. Google sent me an email one day and said, "Hey, have a free one of these." And I went, "Okay." And they said, "Have a free one of these. It's in the post to your registered address."
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "Sure."
Well, that's a way to get people into your ecosystem, I guess, isn't it? Just give the damn thing away.
And I find it annoying to use because it seems so very dense. So unbelievably dim-witted.
Yeah.
And like, it won't detect when I'm talking to it most of the time.
Oof. Okay, well that's critical failure straight away.
And I'm like...
That's the point of it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's the really weird thing though, because like, the very first editions of Assistants...
Yeah.
Like, the very first edition of the Android Assistant, before it was actually called the Android Assistant.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking 2010, 2011 here.
Yeah.
I could use that absolutely fine because it didn't try and have a conversation with you.
Yeah. I don't need it to have a conversation with me. This is what... Yeah.
I would just go, play this song, and it would play the song.
Yeah.
I would go, set an alarm. It set an alarm. I would go, what is the weather in this city? It would tell me the weather in that city.
That's what I want.
And then it would shut up.
Yeah. I don't want it to have a personality. I don't want it to tell me jokes. I don't want it to twerk.
Well, no, I want it to tell me jokes when I say, tell me a joke.
Well, yeah, sure.
When I explicitly ask for data, give me the data.
Yeah.
When I do not ask for the data, do not supply the data.
Yeah.
I at the very least, I wish there was a toggle that said, no, I want to talk at you like the computer you are.
Yeah.
I have no problem with talking at you like you're a computer.
Yeah.
I do not need the mollycoddling of a human interface type thing on it.
Yeah.
Or sorry, a persona.
Yeah. Although I wonder if that is a cultural thing. It's kind of like the issue of you remember when we were having that conversation of when your digital assistant accidentally goes off, and your phone starts whittering at you or something, and you just go, shut up, and it then starts going, oh, I'm sorry, would you like to send a complaint? I'm like, no, I want you to shut up. And we would, and
the thing I found hilarious though is the number of times my watch will trigger when it's linked to when it's actually set up.
Yeah,
because I'm using it just as a timepiece right now, as opposed to a smartwatch.
Yeah, because fuck you. Yeah,
I feel really weird not having a watch, but also I'm kind of like I'm annoyed by this physical manifestation as a smartwatch.
Yeah, what on earth am I doing here?
I will get over it shortly.
Yeah.
However, I'm like, I feel weird not wearing a watch.
Okay.
And this is...
Have you considered just wearing a not smartwatch?
Yeah, but then that's at like £1,000 and...
Oh, Caradog. Have you considered buying a $10 Casio?
No.
Casios are cool, man.
No.
This is the difference between me and Caradog. I'm just like, yeah, Casio F91W, hell yeah, I'd stick one of those on my wrist. Whereas Caradog is just like, no, if it doesn't, well, here we go, let me try this out. If it doesn't have Omega written on it, then it's no good. How does that land?
Actually, it's Omega.
Yeah, there you go, yeah. Op success. Op success.
Oh dear.
So I guess a smartwatch is actually one of the cheaper watches you could buy and still feel like it's something to be proud of then.
I was looking at the Tick watch.
Tick watch?
Yes. Watch by Tick watch.
I'm not... Oh, okay, yep. I have no idea who they are.
Okay. Yep. LTT did a short circuit on their E4.
Okay, yeah.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. That sort of timescale.
Yeah.
They currently probably make the best Wear OS smartwatch pair.
All right,
the E4 being their cheap one, and then the Pro being their very much not cheap one.
Yeah.
And they're good, and I would buy one, but I know there is a big new update coming to Wear OS.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Google have not confirmed that anything at all that exists out there is getting updated.
Yeah.
They have also inferred that all of the current Watch OS devices are going to die and stop working when this update comes out.
Oof.
Like, they're killing the entire ecosystem.
Oh,
has
wow.
been the inference.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, then I don't buy any products until this update comes out.
Yeah.
So all sales are dead?
Yeah.
You morons? What?
Yeah,
So
what
it's
are you
kind
guys
of
doing here? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird. It kind of feels like...
Yeah. That's a bit odd, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, it kind of feels like going, oh yes, the new Xbox is coming out in 12 months' time. By the way, none of the games we release in the next 12 months will work on your current console.
Yeah.
What?
It doesn't work, yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's difficult to gauge. Like, it's very difficult to honestly sell a product knowing that there is a superior product in the pipeline that will render that obsolete. But that's kind of just the way the world works, really, isn't it? That's why buyer's guides exist. Yeah. There is a good time to buy and a bad time to buy. But when you literally say, yeah, no, we're going to obsoletify everything in the next couple of months, it's like, well, yeah, at that point you'll be like, well, I guess I'm not going to sell anything then.
Yeah, it's just very weird. It's very weird that they've done it, because I feel like it must be a miscommunication.
Yeah, maybe. But then also it's Google, so who the hell knows?
Yeah, but then it's also Google, and it's kind of a case of we're also kind of surprised they haven't randomly killed off Wear OS.
Yeah.
Because they got bored that day, and more people needed to suffer.
Yeah.
Or something. Talking of things like that, it makes me annoyed that Google Wave never took off, because Google Wave is literally Discord.
Ooh, yeah.
Google Wave is literally Discord.
Yeah. I'm going to lean back a bit further for that. Ooh. Wave was ahead of its time, but I'm having difficulty refuting your claim. Also, I think
How am I not accurate, Teltac? Google Wave was available with... talking about this from a interpersonal type of view, as opposed to like the way that Eve uses Discord, because that does not count.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Wave was a chat program.
Yeah.
For your friends that you could add, that you could embed video to, or embed pictures to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was asynchronous, real time.
Yeah.
But also was real time.
Yeah. I can't disagree. I don't want to say I agree. But I can't say I disagree. I think this is... You know those charts where you have purist and radicalist, like the sandwich chart where you have sandwich purist and sandwich radicalist, and filling purist and filling radicalist, and you start off with the idea of a cannoli is technically a sandwich at the radical end of the scale. You know, I feel like we could place this on there where we're just like, you know, what is a Discord equivalent, and you've got, okay, you know, purist form would be Skype, and then you've got radical end is Wave was Discord, you know. And do you see what I mean here, you know? So it's just like, yeah, but also no. But also I can't provide a refute. I can't refute this.
But also, yes, purest form is IRC.
Yeah, sure. Although IRC doesn't support embedded media.
But it's the purest form of chat program.
Yes, okay, I'll give you that, yeah. I suppose we've got to... Oh my god, I did not make that switch flat at all. Am I going to fix that, or is that just how it lives now? Okay, I'll fix it, yeah. I completely forgot to flatten it before I flowed all the joints.
Also, like, why does it matter? That's what, you know, img.pix is for.
Yeah, this is true.
Right? What the hell was the old image sharing website like way back in the day? Not like pre-hotpix.
Oh god. I don't know, I never used them because none of them ever supported hotlinking.
All of them did. That's what they were for. No, I'm talking about all of the ones that you used on IRC because they had hotlinking.
Oh. They never supported hotlinking in forums because I wasn't on IRC. I used bulletin boards back in the day. I feel like back in the day there were two types of people. There were people who used IRC and there were people who hung out on forums. And I feel like you were either one or the other. Or there were people with no jobs that did both. You know. Photo bucket, yeah.
Oh, this image is unavailable because the Photo Bucket account is over its monthly bandwidth.
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
Man. God. It's still the fact that it's still hilarious how difficult it is to send a file to someone.
Yeah.
The concept of sending a file to someone.
Yeah, I entirely agree. And it's why a lot of people still just do everything in emails. Despite the fact that an email is a terrible way to send files, but it's also just a lot of the time you're just like, oh god, that's still the simplest option for normies, though, isn't it? You know, like if family...
it's why Snapchat is so successful because it's the only way that's really easy to send a quick photo to someone, other than until Discord came along. And even then, Discord isn't as quick.
I guess, yeah. I suppose by the same token, again, this is why iPhoto is so successful. And on a similar note, WhatsApp. You know, because WhatsApp is Discord on mobile. Fight me. WhatsApp is mobile Discord.
Discord on mobile is mobile Discord.
Yeah, but let's face it, the vast majority of people who are into Discord prefer to use it on the desktop.
You are wrong. Go to the stats for the Adamant IT server.
Those people are wrong.
Those people are the people who support you and like your content.
If you're in the Adamant IT Discord server and you primarily use a mobile phone, you are wrong. You know? So,
I do not endorse this message. Good.
Please download the desktop version immediately, you plebs.
Oh no. Oh no.
Are you signing in now just to see if Discord is blowing up? It's probably not. It's not that big. We had some guy come in the other day that was just like, oh man, this Discord is dead. Just because it wasn't like a 10,000 member Discord that never stopped.
Where even is...
what am I even talking about? Yeah, MSN Messenger could do it. Yeah, you're right. MSN Messenger could do it. What kind of compression did Messenger have for embedded images and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, you could...
All of it.
Oh, it didn't show them in line, but you could send a file and then the person could open it, which is good enough, wasn't it? Yeah. No one uses WhatsApp here, only Viber.
Oh my...
What country are you in?
I'm going to guess India. I'm guessing India.
I've heard of Viber, but I've never actually seen it.
Or. Where was that? Oh, I've forgotten. Can't remember.
Yeah. Although, to be honest, obviously, because of Facebook policy, WhatsApp has become a bit of a... Well, no, The WhatsApp, the new WhatsApp Facebook spying thing, did they roll that back globally?
Mobile only. There we go. 14%.
Because I knew WhatsApp's new terms of service that basically said, okay, we're now opening this up to Facebook. They rolled that back, didn't they, in the end?
I don't know.
I think they did.
The answer to that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've actually rolled it back.
Yes, you can, Michael.
Or they have paused rolling it out.
Yeah.
Because the two have very different meanings to me.
Yes,
but it's
that's
a case
true,
of,
yeah.
As far as I'm aware, also Germany went, if you do this, we are banning you. Goodbye.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, that is a strong rebuttal.
Yeah. WhatsApp largely used by scammers and porn sites. Yes, but it's also used by most people's families, in my experience. Certainly in the UK, WhatsApp is probably one of the biggest ways that just family members communicate, because it's basically Facebook Messenger on steroids.
I was in the very easy situation of, I got my parents' new phones and set them up, and then went, by the way, we're using this chat program now.
Fair enough.
And they were like, this is the Messages app. It has your text messages. You send messages to people here.
Yeah.
It wasn't WhatsApp.
Yeah. Fair enough. DC Jack.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And also, yeah, people using Telegram in Russia, yeah, definitely the way forward. Despite their best efforts, Telegram is annoying because it tends to get updated every 2 hours. But it gets updated every 2 hours because Russia keeps trying to block it. And then they move to another server and dodge it again. So,
yeah.
I used to use Telegram a lot, but the problem is I only had one friend group that I talked to on it. And I was like, I don't want to run this app just to talk to one friend group. But also that, as a consequence of that, I've kind of lost touch with that friend group, which makes me very sad. And I want to get back in touch with them. But also I don't want to run Telegram just for literally one chat room. So, yeah.
Clearly you need to get more involved with furries.
Yeah, pretty much. Because, yeah, there's two people that use Telegram, Russians and furries. This is a Venn diagram. There's some crossover.
Actually, there is one other group as well. Android ROM developers, for reasons I do not quite follow.
Fair enough.
I don't know why they don't just use Discord, but hey.
Yeah. Telegram is used for NVIDIA stock alerts. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I could believe that. Also, it's probably worth noting, just in case I offend anyone with a lot of assumptions that we're making here, we are largely joking here, by the way. So, yeah.
Oh no, I've just been mentioned on Discord.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, I've been DM'd. It's fine.
Uh-oh.
It's fine. It's all good.
There was a couple of other things. Oh, I've just completely ruined my autofocus. I wanted to back read the chat slightly because I saw a couple of messages that were like, oh, I want to respond to that. Someone asked about, any new videos for the channel subscription. Soon. I know I've been saying it for a while, but soon. I need to do one more update video and then do the 100,000 subscriber special. So yeah, it is on my mind. It is something that I keep thinking about going, I must do this. It's just been hectic. However, I'm going on holiday at the start of August, and that will require me to get everything out of the shop, which means I'll be able to do a nice big reset on the repair queue.
Everything must go!
Yep. So the plan is that I'm going to, at the latest, I'm going to come in either at the start of August, at the end of July, or the second week of August. I will have basically nothing on the bench, and I'll be like, right, I have nothing to do, therefore I will make videos. So that's when it's going to happen.
Also, the other thing, congratulations are in order for having a Discord server that's over a year old.
Oh, nice. The Discord server is over a year old. Rad.
Yes. It was only you and the bot.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah. Fair enough. So what's the percentage of mobile users then?
The mobile only is 14%. Desktop and mobile is 58%. Desktop only is 28%.
Desktop only is 28%, yeah.
Which is quite surprising.
But then on the other hand, I mock people who use mobile Discord, but I do check Discord on my mobile when I'm not in front of a computer. But usually that's because I'm checking DMs or something like that. I hate browsing chat rooms on mobile because it feels so clunky going through the rooms one by one, switching server and going through the rooms one by one, you know. I don't know, man. Do your holiday video on Patreon. Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
On Patreon. Yes, indeed. I was thinking it's not that kind of holiday.
Not... Yeah. Right, I've got every... right, oh my god, I've got to do all these sodding LEDs. What are we up to? We're at 2 hours. Right, I'm going to go into tryhard mode on these LEDs.
I have a wonderful story to tell you later that is not suitable for the stream.
Damn. I was about to say that's great because I need you to talk for a wonderful story while I solder all these sodding LEDs.
No, it's fine. I'm sure we can come up with something else. I'm sure chat can engage you.
All right.
Engage me.
New topic, the stop button. There is no stop button because I sold it. Literally, someone came in with an intercom where the push to talk button had broken, and I was like, I need a specifically sized tactile button, and I was like, I'm pretty certain I've got one of those in one of those kits I've got. So I sold the stop button to a customer and fitted it to their intercom. So yeah, we can't stop this. There is no stop. There is only start.
There are no brakes.
Yeah, there are no brakes. This is going to be like the bus from the hit movie Speed, or something.
Get soldering.
Any news to talk about? Yeah.
Also, one of us should set up AliExpress affiliate API at some point.
Yes. Yeah, Caradog. Teltac, can you make an API for the AliExpress links? Because
no, that was Teltac telling us that we need to do the thing.
Okay, Teltac, can you do that, please? Tell me when you've done it. Just simply because it's really awkward to make AliExpress affiliate links, which is why I don't push them. I would shill a lot of products from AliExpress, but it's really awkward to make the links. Right, which side is anode?
Oh, we also need to apparently actually, have the login for the account.
Okay.
To do the thing, to get the keys, to do the what's
I'm guessing it's that way around. I can't remember.
I feel like at some point I should just steal your login for LastPass so I can do all the things.
You may as well, to be honest. So yeah. Let me see. Right, someone help me out here. LED, the line is the cathode, right? Longer is the anode on the LED itself, however, on the board, because we haven't got pluses and minuses. Didn't solder the start button. You are correct. I'm going to solder 2 LEDs and the start button. My brain is turning to mush.
Oh dear.
We should probably have another drink, but I don't know if I can be bothered. I'm also very hungry.
Can I interest you in an aniseed ball?
No. I do not like them. Caradog came over with sweets, and if he enjoys them, that's great, but I'm just like, not my thing. I've got fig rolls.
What about an apple bonbon?
An apple bonbon? No, I don't like sweet things. I'm too old.
I can be fun.
I am going to have a fig roll in a minute, though, because I was talking about fig rolls in a friend circle on Discord, and I was like, you know what I want? Fig heckin' rolls. And I bought some, and that's the end of that story.
Mm.
We definitely need to know more tech news. Cathode is square. Test one with the LED first, in case you get it the wrong way around. Maybe.
Cider's not that sweet. What are you on about, Teltac?
He's not wrong. Cider is nuclear sweet. But it's still nice. I'm going to get these 2 LEDs in place.
That sounded a lot like cracking.
Oh, it's just solder joints cracking. It's fine. Right. Okay, let me see. Let me buzz this out and see if I got these the right way around.
Copperberg is not a real drink.
Absolutely. Copperberg is trash, and you should feel bad. I love it how, no, Copperberg is bad. No.
You.
No, I'm putting on the coffee machine. I'm actually legitimately going to put on the coffee machine.
Okay.
Let me buzz this out first and see which way around this is supposed to go. Hold on. Right.
How do.
Okay, it looks like these are cathode switched, so I'm not going to get any help from that at all. Oh, unless that's not... No, the screw hole is not ground. I need a ground. B-? Nope, that's not going to help me out either. I think these are cathode switched, so I'm not going to be able to buzz it out. Anode is to the edge. Good. That's what I thought it was. I was correct. Hot coffee in this weather? Absolutely. Absolutely. It'll be fine.
She'll be all right.
Yeah. I'm actually putting... Would you like a coffee or a drink? Yes. I'm actually going to get a coffee.
Would you like a coffee or a drink? I would like a drink of coffee. Thank you.
This is... I need a drink. I'll be right back.
Yes, absolutely. Watch out for the cables. Watch out for the cables.
Yep, it's
Don't
fine.
take over the camera.
It's
oh,
fine.
God, not again.
I went around. It was okay. You're in charge.
Oh, dear. Everyone, you are left with me. Also, I look like I'm particularly reclining at this point. Yes. Oh, I need to... Oh. Hold on. Adjusting. Now I can actually read the chat. Hello, people. I've barely been able to read it for the stream because there has been an arm for a camera. The thingy, what's it? Dubry. That thing. Yes. Yes, Chris, indeed. I need a drink. Do that mind thing where I pretend to walk down the stairs? No, that requires effort and moving, and it's hot, and that's really happening. There is a decided lack of tech occurring in this stream, isn't there? I feel like the chat should get going with a tech topic of some kind, and then we can wail in with hot takes and ridiculousness.
Are you criticising the audience for not giving us material to talk about?
No. I'm saying I feel like they should save this.
Okay, fair enough.
I feel like they should save this effort. Save this effort of a stream. Absolutely. It's a Twitch just chatting stream. Yes, although I am not getting out the paddling pool or the hot tub. Would you guys like some lager or wine delivered? I mean, if it can turn up in the next, half hour, then maybe. Was Windows Vista that bad, and justify it? I feel like this is a repeat on a topic that we've done previously. However, my opinion on Vista was fine. A lot of people were trying to run it on hardware that wasn't suitable because of how long Vista was left from XP's release. From XP's release. There we go. So it ended up being a case of, people were using single core, low clock speed processors with maybe 256 megs of RAM. So they were just not good XP machines. And then they tried to move on to Vista. And Vista obviously tried to kick everything up a gear with a 3D accelerated desktop experience and an entirely new driver stack and all of those things. So, yeah. So yes, I'm of the opinion that unfortunately Vista was severely hampered in public opinion and by adoption by specifically in the gaming community by Steam and Gabe Newell, specifically stating I will not support Vista for a very long time. That was their attitude. So it hurt the gaming community pickup of it. And then an awful lot of people trying to run it as an upgrade on a very old machine. So yeah. That is my opinion on it. It was nowhere near as bad as the general populace made it out to be. Is user benchmark still relevant? I feel like the question on that is, was user benchmark ever remotely relevant? Chris, don't call me out like that. How dare you? 3090 should very much be selling for more than £2,100. And then people can get a cheap one by buying my one. But yes, user benchmark. I am yet to find someone who thinks it's reliable or relevant or useful. Anything more than a very rough as guts comparison tool.
30,000 user benchmark is a 30,000 foot overview.
As long as you know how to interpret its misinformation.
Yeah, it's like at a stretch, you can say it tells you it tells you. Let's say you're looking up a product on user benchmark. It tells you what that product is competing with. So, like, if I said I've got no idea how fast a 3060 is, I would look it up on user benchmark, and it tells me, okay, this thing is competing with a 2070 or a 2060 Super kind of thing. Now, whether it's faster than those cards or not, I wouldn't trust the numbers as far as I could throw their server room.
Yeah.
However, it tells me that is the products that it's competing with, and so if I know how fast those products are, it gives me a vague estimate of what kind of ballpark we're in.
Yeah, absolutely. And
That's
I think
what it's good for.
I also think the perfect example as well of how user benchmark is basically useless is the fact that it is so heavily biased towards Intel processors.
Yeah.
That Intel have banned it from their own subreddit.
Yeah, it's hilarious at how banned they are everywhere, and they still, like, man. Just for those of you who don't know what fig rolls are, I'm showing off my fig rolls. I showed you my fig rolls. Please respond.
Oh god.
That's fun.
Also, user benchmarks reviews of AMD products.
It's fig paste in a soft biscuit.
Also, as far as I'm aware, it's not actually figs.
How dare you? Ingredients: figs, 32%. Get
really?
wrecked. Get wrecked. It's got real fig in it. There you go.
Really? An awful lot of them don't actually have fig in.
Oh, there you go. These are just the Tesco ones.
Yeah.
I would have been devastated if it had fig-flavoured paste.
The weirdest Tinder pickup line. Can I interest you in some fig-flavoured paste cookies?
I'm going to start soldering LEDs.
I feel like the mug is Chris's face when he has figs. Just
Alright, I'm putting all these LEDs in this way round. And if it's wrong, well, rip me, I guess. And I'm going to put them in 10s, I think. Man, there's 60 of these LEDs. I hate everything.
that does make sense given it's counting in seconds.
They're often called minced fruit rolls. Huh. I suppose that would be if they have...
Horse meat in them.
I was trying to find something a bit more pleasant than that. Horse meat is not fruit, though.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. It's an Iceland lasagna.
I was about to say, we're going into the UK horse meat scandal there. If anyone is just like, wow, that's a bit dark, there was a scandal in the UK called the horse meat scandal. So it's just a running gag in the UK now.
See, the thing that I find hilarious, though, is the fact that these products were found to have horse meat in. Horse meat, which is classified as a higher quality meat product than the meat product they were expecting in there. And that was a scandal.
Yeah.
That the meat was better than advertised.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's get back on the solder. I'm going to go for a big old... I was going to call it an ASMR shot then, but I don't think that's quite right. Either way, a big old close-up maybe. And then everyone can criticise my soldering. Don't worry, I'll make it the right way up. Right, bam. That's the wrong camera, so let's go bam. Add video capture device. Add existing. Cam link. Hello again.
Hi.
Whoop. Nice. Hi. This is a tech show.
I forgot to put my white wine in the fridge. And it's the only cool drink I have. Tell tap.
What?
How do you not have cold water from your tap?
Can I criticize my camera's autofocus? No, because I can, because the autofocus is rubbish. Webcams are bad at autofocus. Well, that's mainly just because we're trying to use them at point blank range. Right. No, we still don't have... We need a tech topic so we can actually get this show back on track, but I don't know if we're past that point, and I don't know if anyone cares.
Teltac, there's this wonderful thing called a Brita filter.
Oops.
You earn enough money to afford one.
Yeah, if you don't have a Brita water filter, get one. They're really cheap and they're really good. I have one at home and at work now, just because, man, they're good. I need to find a good angle for doing these LEDs at. I also need some way of... If only I had some way of holding the PCB, like some kind of hands that helped, or something like that, you know? If only someone bought me something similar to that once before, and I actually used it. I'm not going to bother with the close-up because I immediately have to pull it out now in order to straighten these out. Teltac is about... Yeah, there you go. I was about to say...
Teltac is typing.
Yeah. He shoots, he scores. Right, let's straighten out these LEDs. Whoop. Doing this at a really weird angle. I'm not very comfortable, but it's working. Let's see. We had did the Steam Deck, did all of that. There was something else that I wanted to talk about today, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was.
You not terminating your EC2 instance.
I did. I have. No, I looked up in horror then at the chat. I was like, I was waiting to see if Teltac had actually said you haven't terminated your EC2 instance, or if he was going to say, I bet you haven't. I have absolutely terminated my EC2 instance. It's fine. I do need to update the website again, though, because I need to actually set guidelines for emailing me. Because... Don't. Yeah. Mainly just because the amount of emails I get that are just tech support emails now. Of just tech support emails from just people around the world. And I'm just like... and a lot of them, I'm just like, I don't know, man. Go to the Discord or something. It's just like, I'm not going to provide free tech support for 1 million people via email. It'd be a full-time occupation. Hit up a forum.
See, what you do is you ask them for a telephone number and then you phone them up saying, hello, I am from Microsoft. I have noticed there is a problem with your computer.
I feel like it might be worth soldering these 10 LEDs and then turning it on. What do you think, guys? Are we going to go no guts, no glory and put all 60 LEDs on? Or are we going to do these 10 and see if it works?
I feel like doing the 10 and making sure it works is probably the most time efficient.
Saying time efficient implies that you don't think this is going to work first time. Your silence is concerning.
Based on today's efforts.
What's wrong with today's efforts?
I'm amazed that there's 273 people here.
Yeah. This is great banter. Oh, there goes that Hobbs. Yeah.
Oh, a topic not related to tech.
That Fiesta can do one. Sorry, continue.
Topic not related to tech. I got distracted yesterday.
Okay.
And started looking at legacies on Auto Trader.
Yeah. There's not many of the Series 2 ones around. The Gen 2 ones.
I was looking through and I was going through and I was like, that's an ugly one. That's an ugly one. That's an ugly one. That's an ugly one. That's a GTB!
Yeah. Yeah, there's...
There was one. There was a single Gen 1 or Gen 2.
Yeah.
That was it. And I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Uh-oh.
The Subaru Legacy, if you don't like the Gen 4, then you're out of luck with them now. Because, yeah, the old style ones are not about. And to be honest, the new ones, they're okay. But the old ones get away with a lot of misgivings because they've got that classic 90s charm.
Yeah.
And if you like that, then it's fine.
There was a Gen 2 and it was a JDM one.
Oh yeah,
And I was just like, an actually good one. But that was literally only one. I was just like, oh, that's
sadness. Oh well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
I did think of a tech topic to talk about, and then I forgot. That super annoyed me. Let's see. The affiliate linker for the Amazon one has been completely free. Nice. That's good so far. Right. Right, I'm going to grab a power bank.
What is EMMC? I'll try that again with words. What actually is EMMC storage, and why is it bad?
You want to take that one?
No, because I can't actually remember what EMMC is.
It's basically an SD card soldered into the computer.
What is EMMC?
Yeah, like
It goes to Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's like electronic multimedia card or something like that. But yeah, it's literally just an SD card soldered straight onto your storage bus.
Oh yes, Evangelical Mennonite Mission Conference.
I don't think that's the one that we're actually talking about, but yeah. Oh, embedded MMC. That's right, embedded multimedia card. Yeah.
But basically, it's a case of it's garbage tier flash storage.
Yeah.
It is like the bottomest of the bottom barrel.
Yeah. You know those terrible 32 gigabyte netbooks that seem to be obnoxiously slow, even though they've got SSDs in them? That's what they're running, basically. It's turbo trash. Absolutely trash.
It's also the... It also uses a different controller method and different, actual, data layout setup, as far as I'm aware. So that also doesn't help it and makes it a lot slower. Interesting. Someone's doing some crystal disk markage on EMMC, and it's surprisingly performant. I feel like they have lied.
Yeah.
I feel like they've lied. These numbers, they do not feel real.
Yeah, 10 and 20 megabytes 4K random ops. That seems really optimistic for EMMC. What's the one on the right?
That's
120.
That's
Oh yeah. Oh, that's on 60. Yeah, the 64 ones are getting close.
The 64 gig ones are shockingly good for EMMC.
Yeah, I have but then also the fact that if you look at that, we're looking at some. We should have got capture set up so we can show you what we're looking at. But we're looking at some crystal disk benchmarks at the moment, and with EMMC storage, it looks like a 120 gig. That's 120 gig SSD.
Yeah, that's 120 gig.
Yeah.
NVMe SSD.
Yeah, so I thought that was a 120 gig EMMC setup versus 64 gig one.
No. Yay!
Well, it counted through those and then it beeped, so it works. So I'll carry on soldering LEDs in that case. You did it! Yep. There we go. It should beep when the 60 seconds are over. It did. There we go.
Congratulations, it works.
Op success.
Excellent, we can go home now. Bye, guys.
It works. You should consider doing soldering repairs for a job. Maybe I'll do that. Hey, I fixed a laptop earlier on today by poking it.
See, it's 15 years of experience knowing precisely where to poke it.
Well, that's just it. That's true. I poked it exactly on the clock generator power circuit, and it came back to life again.
See, it's all about knowing where to touch it.
However, the previous people who looked at the laptop didn't know to poke the clock generator circuit with a multimeter, and that would make it come back to life. I'm not even joking.
To life, back to reality. Anyway.
Right.
But yes. EMMC.
EMMC. Yes.
It looks like the 64 gig editions are less terrible.
Yeah.
I'd imagine because there's far greater parallelism.
Yes, I think it's...
They're still trash because they're less than half the speed of a trash tier 128 gig SSD, but
and
they're getting there.
It's also the fact that you routinely see EMMC in very small sizes like 64 gigs, and that means it's going to wear down super quick. It's like a mobile phone. Mobile phones, you guys remember the previous generation of smartphones with 16 gigs of storage, and how they just, like, within 12 months, they were unusably slow.
Yeah.
That's because the 16 gigs of NAND storage on them wore down into the Stone Age and became completely useless. Same thing will happen with eMMC. Because there's not enough of it.
Yeah.
And this is the main reason why you should always overspec your storage, because NAND hates being full and it hates lots of write cycles. So you need to overspec it so it can handle, it can have a longer lifespan.
Yeah, it's why I'm pleased to see that the minimum capacity on mobile phones is creeping up.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of a case, so it's just like, it
it
still doesn't feel like it's kind of going fast enough in a way.
It's hard to find anything with less than 64 gigs now, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like most of us, certainly the more premium stuff is 64 gig plus.
Yeah.
Because I think the S21 starts at 128 gig.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. And goes up to a terabyte. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I feel like if you need to store a terabyte of data on your phone, you're doing it wrong. And I feel like that's just a worthless flex.
Yeah, but at the same time, you'll never outdo the right endurance on that.
True, but then on the other hand, like my Huawei P20, the reason why I still have my Huawei P20 is because it's still doing fine.
Yeah.
It's got to be 2 going on 3 years old now, and it still feels really fast and snappy. I really want to replace it with a Pixel. I really want a new phone, but there's nothing wrong with my P20, so I can't justify it.
Absolutely. I think also the move from eMMC in phones to UFS.
Yeah. Like, this is compared to my...
UFS 2.0 and then obviously 2.1.
Yeah.
I think that move also helped alleviate a lot of the long-term slowdown.
Yeah.
Because it was just a much newer flash management standard and things like that. So it had better management of the flash cells and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm presuming that's helped a lot well.
Yeah, by comparison, my previous phone... my previous phone lasted 18 months, and that was a 16 gig phone. And at 18 months, I was like, this is literally unusable. I need something else. Yeah. I mean, not literally unusable, but it was a bad user experience.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a power user on my mobile phone. Yeah. I don't use my phone that much,
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. Christopher David, thank you very much for the $20. Love watching you build a kit on the live stream today. Thanks. What modifications can you easily make on kits when they are done? Thank you very much. I'm not sure, really. It depends what kind of modifications you'd want to do. I mean, what would be cool with this is, I guess, I mean, for this, because we're limited by the circuit board itself, you'd need to break out to another board. But, what this thing has got, we've got a 555 timer chip here, and this is probably a decade counter. Or it might actually be just a clock chip, but this is probably outputting a binary output, either in hex or in binary. Either a hex output or a binary output. You could probably get a breadboard and put like a 7-segment decoder on that, and then try and wire this in to a 7-segment display to get a numerical display for it. That would be a fun project to try and do, to see if you can adapt this onto a numerical display. That's just an example. Battery power, yeah. This takes a battery that is 4 to 5 volts. The annoying thing is, all of these things are spec'd for 4 to 5 volts, which means they're just too high for a single cell LiPo. So doing a battery mod on this would be annoying, because you'd need to put in either a 2-cell LiPo battery, or you'd have to wire in a boost circuit. But then, on the other hand, you could bodge in a cheap power bank. Buy the cheapest shitty power bank on eBay, take the circuit board out of it, and you now have a single cell LiPo to 5 volt boost and charge circuit. So you could then stick that on the back, and that would work as well. And yeah, you could use it as an egg timer. Change a few resistors to make it go up to 3 minutes. That's a cool idea. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, some of these resistors are probably setting parameters on the timer clock that handle what it counts to. So yeah, that's a great idea. 3 AA batteries for 4.5 volts. I guess you could. I hate any battery that's not LiPo. So yeah, not my thing. But those are some ideas. Some multicolor LEDs. Yeah, you could do that. That'd be a cool idea as well.
Here's a question or
RGB.
A point on that. Why do you think that LiPo has become, as in lithium nominal 3.7 volt, has become the de facto battery, when life, so lithium ion, as in IRON, has better cycle resiliency for capacity and is 3.3 volt nominal? Why that hasn't taken off in any way for, certainly at least in the community space?
I want to say maybe because 3.3 is a bit too low to do anything with, but then on the other hand, 3.7 isn't really useful either. Like up at 4.2 at maximum charge, you're getting into a handy area. But as soon as you drop off of maximum charge, like you go below 4 volts into the nominal area, and it's useless again. So, yeah, that's an interesting point, and I don't know the answer to that. Maybe LiPo was cheaper to manufacture, so maybe LiPo cells are more cheaply and readily available. Like, is life quite expensive? I have no experience with life at all. I mean that literally. I mean that in context of this conversation, not as an existential crisis. I have no experience with LIFE batteries.
Absolutely. LIFE compared to LiPo, from the places that I've looked at, it's been exactly the same price. I presume if you buy cheap batteries off of eBay, it's going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
But also, that's cheap batteries off of eBay.
Yeah, which are always going to be a roll of the dice, I guess.
Yeah. So I don't know is the answer to that.
Can you get LIFE in exactly the same flat form factors, like the flat cells?
I don't know if it's the same form factors.
Yeah.
I don't see why it would be... Oh, excuse me. I don't know why it would be an issue to, but they exist in flats.
Yeah.
That's the only type I've seen them in, is in, like, flats.
Because obviously there must be some advantage to LiPo that caused that to be the exact chemistry that everyone went all in on. And while LIFE is probably a drop-in replacement in the majority of cases, that's not what everyone is manufacturing LiPo for, that other reason.
Yeah. So it's a case of, certainly in the case of, I've looked that...
Energy density? Maybe.
As far as I'm aware, after 2 cycles? 10 cycles? Something ridiculously low like that, life has a better energy density and better capacity.
Yeah.
Because LiPo drops off so fast, quote unquote. As far as I can recall, I can't remember exactly what the numbers were, but it was a very small number of cycles that life then takes over. LIFE batteries take over.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely certain. I don't know.
I wonder if the average person would actually notice the difference, because I mean, generally speaking, you know, the health of a battery is going to largely depend on what kind of life it leads. No pun intended.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's a case that
a lot of it always comes down to just how you're charging things. Like if we look at practical examples like phones, you know,
in a phone, it would have better 2-year battery life.
Yeah.
Than
that's the thing. I generally find that most phones will easily give you 2 years of service as long as you haven't ragged the battery. But a lot of people just don't actually take any care of the battery in their phone. they will charge it at maximum speed all the time. Now, that's not necessarily their fault. Part of it is a lack of education. You know, if the phone ships with a supercharger, that's the one that everyone's going to use all the time.
Yeah.
And if everyone supercharges their phone at 20 watts for its entire life, surprise, surprise, it ain't going to be very good after a year of service. And I think that's one of the reasons why, despite my phone being 2 going on 3 years old, the battery on it is doing absolutely fine. Like, I haven't noticed any meaningful drop off on it because I've always slow charged this. You know, the only time I actually ever supercharge it is when I actually need it. Like, if I'm going to walk out the door in 10 minutes and I'm at 10% and I'm like, my phone is going to die if I don't charge it, so I'll just quickly supercharge it for like 10 or 15 minutes just to jam another 30% into it. But that only gets done once in a blue moon.
Yeah. I think, saying on that, the thing, I thought I'd completely cooked the battery in my Pixel the other day, because it just seemed to be dying, like, basically instantly.
Yeah.
No, apparently, somehow I'd just bugged the thing so the screen never turned off.
Oh. Well, that'll do it.
So it was like, I looked back at the battery stats and I was like,
Come on.
what do you mean it's only lasting 4 hours between charges? It's clearly completely stuffed. Oh, that was 4 hours of solid screen on time.
Yeah.
Why was the phone screen on solidly for 4 hours? Phone, are you okay there? So yeah, but somehow it just got stuck in that position where the screen just never turned off.
Yeah. I wonder if there was just an app that was just running the keep awake or something.
And it's just like, what? And yeah, so I disabled that, left it just sat on my desk for like 4 hours and it dropped by 0%. And I was
yeah.
Okay,
That's
no,
more
it's
like
fine.
it.
There we go, fixed. But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought I'd completely hosed it. And I was just like, oh, that's a shame because I actually really quite like the phone.
Yes. People with 45 and 50 watt chargers for your phones. Yeah. Don't run them that high every day.
That was more commmen.
Well, I mean,
but I wish
great,
also
but they
the
won't
charging.
take it.
But I also wish the charging was more intelligent.
Yeah.
So it's a case of it goes, the phone is at like 7% or something. Maximum charging speed. Okay, it's hit 50%, you're down to 10 watts now.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I wish that was kind of the default position. Just because the only times I need it to super fast charge is when I'm at like 10% or something. And I'm like, oh heck, I need to go out and I miscalculated my charging. Kind of thing. And stuff like that. So it's like, that's when I need the super fast charging.
Yeah.
But it's also a case of nothing is actually fast enough kind of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Apparently the only real danger is when you're fast charging past 80%. Yeah. And also, like,
I never charge past 80% anymore.
Yeah.
Now, so, yeah.
Cam says, my phone is fine after 2 years of 18 watt quick charging. So, yeah, I guess your mileage may vary. Is
18
be
watts.
the case
18 watts isn't also particularly fast
Yeah,
charging.
I was going to say, like, I think.
So, that's good.
Yeah, I think that is fairly modest.
What is that in C's for the maths?
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that's 9 volt 2 amps.
Yeah, which is going to be around 1C for the
Yeah.
cells, so it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah. Xiaomi made a 100 watt charger. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, the way they do it is by splitting the battery, by making an actual battery, because they have multiple cells.
Yeah.
As opposed to every other phone is actually a single cell. It doesn't have a battery.
Yeah.
To be technical.
Yes.
Yes. So they actually have batteries as opposed to just a single cell. So each cell is effectively only charging at like 25 watts.
Yeah.
Which
I
guess
I'm
but at the
surprised
same
it's
time,
not more common. I mean, I guess it massively complexifies.
makes more complicated.
Yeah. I guess it massively makes more complicated the battery and charging system of the phone compared to a single cell setup.
Yeah.
Because suddenly you need a battery management system. However, I'm surprised that 2-cell phones are not more common, or at least in tablets, where again, no, a lot of tablets run 2-cell. Actually, that's a lie.
They just don't run them as 2 cells.
Oh
as far
yeah,
as I can
it's
tell.
2. Yeah, that's
So,
true.
as in, they don't run them as two separately
it's a
chargeable cells.
Yeah, it's a 1x2. Yeah. Yeah, it's a 3.7 volt battery. Yeah, yeah, and also PC Volt, a desktop with an internal battery. That's called a UPS.
The problem with that is a desktop can use 600 or 700 watts.
Yeah, they're not designed to be power efficient.
And 700 watts in batteries is an awful lot of batteries.
Yeah, you can't make anything that's actually useful.
Because, like, a laptop, even super high power laptops are 125 watts.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, maybe 200 ones.
Yeah.
If they're the silly, crazy top end ones. So, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, decent high-end ultrabooks with high performance, you're looking at like maybe a 2-hour battery runtime.
Sorry, say that again. Ultrabooks.
Decent high performance
laptops.
Yeah,
you're looking at like maybe
yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily talking about the big chonkers, but something where it's actually thin and designed to be a laptop and not a mobile workstation.
Yeah, because then you're getting about 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. They'll give about 2 hours, and that's for a device, and that's for something that is using a fraction of the power. But then on the it's just more efficient than UPS at least because DC conversions. Yes, true. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. 12 volt 1.5. Oh, that's unusual. Yeah, 12 volt 1.5 amps for 18 watts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen 12 volt charging is quite uncommon as far as I know. But then on the flip side, I'm not a phone expert, so there might be some phone experts that are just like, no, there's loads that do that.
Is that a PD standard? I can't remember if that's a
power delivery can do 12 volts.
Yeah, I can't remember if 12 1.5 is the standard power delivery one.
I've only ever seen power delivery do 9 or 15. It can do 12. I've just never seen it go to 12.
Okay, because I know that Quick Charge 3 does a 9 volt at 1.71 or something. It's like, okay,
yeah,
that doesn't round out nicely.
Yeah,
but yeah, it also depends on the where in kind of the charge you are quick charging the battery.
Yeah, and of course just whether the phone is smart enough to manage the battery nicely or not.
Yeah,
you know, some phones will. It sounds like with modern phones, there are plenty of phones out there that do have some intelligence to how quickly they charge and when they start dropping off the current and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas there are some phones that are a bit more earlier and just like, way, full charge, you know.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We'll just 2 amps up to 99%.
Yeah, it's like, but it's also like the same thing with electric cars. They'll only charge, you know, the manufacturer will obviously advertise and say, oh yeah, up to 200 kilowatt charging.
Yeah.
We'll only do the 200 kilowatt charging it below like 35% capacity.
Yeah.
And things like that. So it's a case of
but then
charging it 200 kilowatts at like 10% capacity is doing nothing to the battery's health.
Yeah.
Whereas trying to charge at that speed at like 85% capacity is going to do something to its health. So yeah,
when the battery is at low charge, it's also at a much lower resistance level. So whereas the battery's resistance increases as it charges up, which is why once you get to a higher percentage of charge, higher state of charge, because the resistance is higher, you keep trying to stuff in that many amps, you're drastically increasing the heat inside the cell. And that is what is cooking them. You literally start cooking the cell. But when the battery is very low, down at the single digit percentages, because the resistance is so low, that you're not producing any heat by stuffing in a huge amount of power. So you don't damage it by giving it the beans.
Beans!
So yeah. But then I guess, 200 beans. But hands up in the chat, anyone who got that reference. Anyway, with cars though, I guess if you can do 200 kilowatts up to 30%, if that puts 30 miles in the tank, then job complete, isn't it? Because how often, that's going to gets you to the shops and back, which is what you needed, Yeah,
absolutely. I don't know how the percentage equates sort of thing for the mileage, but I know that someone did. instead of obviously X time to do X%, it was just a case of time to do 100 miles of range.
Yeah.
And it's like Tesla, 8 minutes or something like that. It's like, okay, I can do 100 miles in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. That's standy, isn't it? Yeah.
Which roughly equates to I can do 200 miles in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like,
that's pretty crazy. Like,
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, like the one. If that is, I'm gonna take that at face value. Without.
That's third-party reviews, not Tesla's numbers.
Okay, sure. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm still going to take that at face value.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not going to ask questions about what circumstances that is in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
However,
absolute fastest possible charging.
At face value, a lot of the time when people are talking about electric cars and stuff, they're going, "Oh yeah, but you can't just fill up at a station." It's like, I don't know. When I go to fill up with petrol, I could easily, you're easily going to be stopped in the petrol station for 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially if you go and pay at the kiosk because you want to get a coffee or a sandwich as well. So suddenly, 100 miles in 8 minutes, you're now comparable to how fast you fill up a petrol car. I mean, obviously a petrol car, you could fill up with 300 miles of range in that time. Yeah. However, again, how often are you doing more than 100 miles in a day?
In a single sitting.
At that point, we've potentially got electric cars that fill up in the same time as a petrol car.
And the other thing is,
awesome.
Of course, the fact of you can fill it out. You can fill up that electric car anywhere where there is electricity.
Yeah.
You do not have to do it at a specific establishment.
Oh, it's crashed. It does this sometimes.
Uh-oh. Reboot.
Yeah, turn it off and on again.
But it's kind of the case.
I hate it when my soldering iron crashes, man.
But it's kind of a case of it's like, even with that, like with the the parking you've just about got behind your shop.
Yeah.
You could run a 50-meter extension cable out to that.
Yeah.
Plug your car in, and the time you're here.
Yeah.
It's a case that the time you're at work every day, it could just sit on a charger.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Or it's like, so kind of like that. Or it's like, the chargers they're in, Asda and Tesco car parks. It's a case of when you're doing your weekly shop, you can chuck in like 150 miles, which is more than most people commute in a week.
Yeah, and that could potentially be your main charge as well, because like one of the issues at the moment is at home, at my flat where I live, my car is only 15 to 20 meters away from my back door. However, that's across a car park, so I can't actually I couldn't run a charge cable out there.
Oh, you could do.
We would have to electrify the car park by running a cable all the way around the outside edge of it, which requires an actual installation. I can't just string a cable out the window kind of thing.
Not on a permanent basis, but you could get like a 50-meter extension and just kind of go,
I guess,
in a kind of dirty fashion.
Yeah, and I'd have to tell my neighbours, hey, please don't trip over my heckin' car charge cable,
but you'd only need to you'd need to do that so infrequently.
That's right, but then also again, with car chargers appearing at supermarkets and stuff like that, I could just be like, I don't have a car charger at home. I pop out to the supermarket, and in the 15 to 20 minutes it took me to pick up some shopping.
To do the weekly shop that I needed to do anyway.
Yeah. I have recharged my car for the week.
Yeah.
I mean, now obviously that's not, you need another situation because you're like, I don't want to rely on the supermarket to be able to drive my car.
No, absolutely.
But as a as a dirty concept, it's just like, that's amazing that's actually possible,
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got that as an option. There's obviously also the fact of basically every motorway service station in the UK has fast chargers for both the Tesla branded ones and also the non-Tesla branded ones, and there are loads of stalls.
Yeah.
So it's very easy.
Yeah.
From that perspective as well. And if you happen to live near to one of those, you could also reasonably easily do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just thinking like the one at Warminster. Is it the service station there?
I don't know. I'm very, very rarely out that direction. But yeah, I can certainly think of a couple.
Yeah, there's there there's there, and it's literally just like on a roundabout with normal roads going to it, as opposed to it being like a motorway. So you can literally pop in and pop out. So whilst it's a case of obviously it's a pain to have to do that, but it's a case of
it could be done.
If suddenly every other situation has completely gone wrong, you could just do that.
If they banned gas cars tomorrow and said and they just binned everyone's petrol cars and replaced them all with electric cars, you would survive.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you could do something like that. And it's also the case of an awful lot of places are allowing you to 3-pin plug into lampposts. Because an awful lot of lampposts just have a 3-pin plug-in.
Oh, rad.
And they're just letting you plug into that.
That's very generous of them, yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a case of, whilst, yes, that's slow charging at 3 kilowatts.
I'm guessing that's free, though, as well.
It's a case that, a case that with that, kind of a case that, you know, an hour on there still gives you probably 100 miles.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
So it's like 100 miles is more than enough to get you to your next destination. And also a case of 100 miles allows you to drive, certainly in the UK, most of the length of the country to get to a supercharger.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of a case of...
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You know, driving to specific locations to refuel or re-energize is not totally bonkers, because, like, I used to, you know...
It's inconvenient.
Yeah, but it's more than doable. I used to, you know, one of my old cars had an LPG conversion on it, so I had to go to... so when I wanted to refill the LPG, I had to go to specific petrol stations that had LPG. And there was a specific one that I went to that was in the wrong direction for anywhere that I normally went, only by a mile or two, but it was really no big deal for me to just drive out there once every week or two to fill up my LPG tank, you know. So, yeah, and I was fine with that.
Yeah, and it's a case that, it's also the fact that I feel like a lot of people dramatically overestimate how far they think they drive. Or more precisely, how much range they think they need.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I ran the numbers for a couple of people who are like, oh, I could never buy this car. It's only got a 190-mile range.
Yeah.
I could never drive from here to the Netherlands with that. And I was like, have you ever done that? And they're like, no. But I couldn't do it in my car. And I was like, right, so you could never do a task in your car that you've never required of your car.
Yeah.
Why does that matter to your buying habits? If you needed to do that one day, you could just hire a longer range car for the length of your trip. People
just keep wanting to plan for eventualities that they will never ever actually encounter. It's kind of similar to that. I'm going to catch up on chat in a minute, by the way, because there's some good questions in chat that I want to cover, starting from PC Bolt. But yeah, it's kind of like when buying laptops, is people often say sort of, oh, I'm going to keep buying a 15-inch laptop with a dedicated GPU in case I want to play games on it. And then never, ever, ever play games on their laptop. That was me for years. I kept buying the 15-inch MacBook Pro, so I'm like, oh, but I might want to play games on it. And eventually when I switched down to a 13-inch, you know, my mate was just like, oh, but what if you want to play games on it? I'm like, but I don't.
Yeah.
I've always had a 15-inch, and I never, ever use it for games. So I'm going to stop paying extra for additional bulk and a GPU that's going to fail, and just buy a 13-inch. You know, same with cars. People go sort of, oh, I'm going to get it. I will get it for this spec just in case I need it. And it's like, yeah, but you won't.
Yeah.
You know, and in a way, practicality is a tricky one, because practicality is a case of when you need it, you need it. Like, my car is incredibly impractical in its boot size and stuff like that. But it's a case of, it's never a problem because I never need it. Now, once every 6 months, I want to carry something bulky that doesn't fit into my boot. And I'm just like, if I had a hatchback, it would have gone in.
Yeah.
But there's once every 6 months. And you know what I do? I find another way.
I also feel like the comment is hatchbacks are just better cars anyway.
True. This is a bit of a poor example.
That's a poor example because hatchbacks are just better.
Yes, I agree with that. And also the fact that I like estates and I would quite happily...
However, yes.
The point still stands, is that I have an inconvenience on my car that every now and then is an inconvenience, but never to the point where I can't deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. Right, I'm going to quickly roll back up the chat and just catch some questions that we've been having. Let me see. So, Where was it? So PC Bolt asked, have you ever tried replacing dead cells in laptop batteries? How's that actually worked out? I actually gave that a go recently because it's something that I wanted to dabble in. And my instance of it was a bit of a dead end because the problem is if the cells in the battery have gone bad, a lot of the time, the battery management system, the BMS, the controller for that will have gone into a locked state. So even if you replace the cells, the controller will still say, nope, this battery is dead, and refuse to do anything. Now, in some cases, you can unlock the controller again if you have the device to do that. Case in point would be my laptop battery analyzer. I've got a video on this guy, the professional laptop battery analyzer, the NLBA. This can do that on some batteries, and they're expanding the range of batteries that this can work on all the time. So you would be able to unlock the controller again, put new cells in the battery, and stick it back in a laptop. But the problem is, in my opinion, in the vast majority of cases, I don't think that's actually worth doing at that point. I think you may as well just buy a new battery. If the battery has not gone into a locked state, though, absolutely you can do that, and there's no reason why it won't work. So it kind of depends. There's definitely mileage in it. There's going to be people who do this more often than I do, who may be able to answer that question better. But it's an interesting topic. I don't think it's worth doing in the majority of cases, but there's going to be some people who have found some niche uses where it's a rare battery that's hard to find or something like that. Or just simply for like common batteries, like MacBook batteries, they may have got to a point where they can just take dead MacBook batteries, put new cells in them, reset the management controller, and they've effectively refurbished a battery at half the cost of a new one, say.
Or possibly a case of, because they see a volume of MacBooks, they can take all of the batteries and from them bin the dead cells, and they have enough good cells to make up quote-unquote refurbed batteries.
Yeah, that would work as well.
Because obviously if you're at that volume of devices, then it's a case that, that's also another thing, kind of taking the parts from what you have and making working batteries out of them and resetting controllers and stuff.
That's a good way to do it.
A sufficient volume through, but obviously you need a sufficient volume of a single model.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And again, that's where, again, specializing in, say, Macs is often a good case for that, because you'll often find plenty of common parts. So yeah, because like the MacBook Air battery has barely changed in years apart from the brand new one. So yeah.
So kind of situations like that, absolutely.
Martin Barker said, how far south are you? Because they, as in superchargers, are not all surface stations here in the north of the country. We're in the south, the glorious south, below the M3 and the A303. And so they're everywhere down here. The north-south... Do
you mean the M4?
See, I was going for the super joke and say, nope, the north-south divide is the A303. However, no, the M4 is the north-south divide as I see it. So yeah, below the M4, we'll say that.
The Midlands are a lie.
Yeah, the Midlands don't exist. There is only above the M4 and below the M4. And there's a couple of edge cases, like Oxford. So
Oxford is technically the south.
Yes.
We're claiming it.
Let's see. Then also Christopher David asked, watching me solder these LEDs. So yeah, what I've been doing here is I solder one pin on each LED, and then I reflow it to push the LED in place, which is how, as you can see, all these LEDs are perfectly straight and flat, more or less. And then we solder all the other legs once they're dead flat and in place. So yes, which so there's that. No right to repair, no electric vehicles. Yeah, I don't have enough knowledge to give any kind of insightful comment. However, that's certainly something we've got to keep an eye on. I agree with that. So yeah, let's see.
Although interesting to see the right to repair. Was it a presidential order or something like that.
I saw something had happened, but I haven't
There
read
was
up
an
what actually happened.
just an interesting thing on that, because it seems to have basically mandated that the FCC get involved with John Deere tractors.
Yes.
Which is an interesting response.
Yeah.
So
it looks like the government have actually stepped in enough to say, we don't know what the hell is going on here, but you guys need to do something about it.
Yeah, so it's an interesting start, certainly on that point.
Yeah. There is now there is, the government have said something needs to happen. We don't know what, but you need to do something.
Yeah, basically. So
create the regulation to force right to repair. Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course
I think it was
we don't know
specifically related to, or at least the news article I saw said it only related to John Deere tractors.
Yeah.
However, I'm imagining that was just the article specifically stating that. As opposed to that actually being what the bill is, and it's a case of it's possibly being wider than that.
Yeah. Alright, so pause flashes and we unpause. I have to... this is more like an enable and disable button, because when it's in, the clock is enabled, and when it's out, the clock is paused or disabled. So this is more like an enable button. So yeah, enable, start. There we go, off it goes.
Neat.
Who's counting the reliability of this? I don't know. So yes. This was a really good kit, actually. If you want to do one of these little soldering kits, this is a really good one. I think that's why I originally picked it up, because it's got lots of components to put on the board, and it's got a really good variety of components to put on the board. We've got a couple of chips, some resistors, some buttons, some capacitors, some transistors, and a whole bunch of LEDs. So if you want to get started soldering, this is definitely a really good kit to work on. I also had, just in case I sped through this one, I've got the heart kits that I did on my Pine Sol review. I've still got heckin' 20 of these things. So yeah, but this one was really good because that's got a really good selection on it. Seems a little bit slow. Yeah, probably. I'm almost tempted to hook it up to the bench power supply and see if we can make it do weird things with weird voltages. I definitely wouldn't rely on this for accuracy. That kind of went a bit wonky there, didn't it? So it went...
It started entering another dimension and then returned.
It looked like I'd thrown it out off screen. It had gone... Boop, 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 boop. Or actually, that would have been a blue shift, so it would have gone... Boo, boo, boo. You know?
Oh dear. Anyway, I feel it's timed.
We are at the 3-hour marker. I do want to mess around with this more, but yeah, let's do group build on the heart kit. I really want to do the group build, however, I lack the time and energy to actually plan it. I'm almost tempted to say I need help coordinating that. But I don't know what I'm inferring if I were to say that. So yeah. Would you give one of the heart LED things away? The problem is, it's probably cheaper to go and buy one yourself. It will be cheaper for you to buy one on AliExpress than it will be for me to send it to you. So yeah. You've pinged me about 5 times about it. Well, do you want to organise it, Teltac? And I'm not even joking. Literally, do everything for me, and I will PR it for you. This is the problem. Is that I've done event management before. I did event I was upper management on a convention, and we would have people say, "Oh, hey, we'll do the cosplay contest for you," and I'm like, "Okay." And I would say to them, right, you guys are in charge of the cosplay contest. I need you guys to do literally everything. And then on the day, they'd be like sort of, oh yeah, no, we don't have this. We don't know what we do. You know, they didn't have anything planned. And I'm like, you guys said you were doing this. And they were like, we never got any help with it. And I'm like, I told you, I said, you guys are doing literally everything. Do you understand? And you said yes. And they were like, we haven't done that. So this is the problem. This is why I have trust issues with help, because you say to someone, I need you to do literally everything, and they go, okay. And then you come back and you go, right, have you done it? And they're like, no. So yeah, it's the problem. If I don't do it myself, it won't get done. So yeah. Good job with the delegation, darling. Thanks, Kimbo. So yes. Oh well.
I thought Kimbo was the delegation.
Sometimes I'm delegating things to Kimbo. Kimbo is doing things in the shop, and she's doing a good job. So yeah. Hi, Kimbo, by the way. And Michael Casper with the $4.99. That's a very specific value. Thank you very much for the $4.99. Great show today. Thank you very much. On that bombshell, it is time to go because if I start dicking around with this, we'll be here for another half an hour minimum. And yeah, we're at 3 hours, so we're going to go. However, I'm glad you guys have enjoyed this. We'll be back with more stuff. Also, earlier on, someone did ask about the keyboard. The keyboard will make a return. We've got the USB ports. So there's the USB ports for the keyboard. So the keyboard will make a comeback. We will be doing that.
It will live!
Yes, indeed. So it's not the last we've seen in the keyboard. I did have this. I just didn't want to do the keyboard today. I wanted to do something simple that had instructions written on the circuit board, basically. So yeah. So yes, will you organise collective soldering live streams and kits from AliExpress? I want to do that. We will get it done. Yeah, we'll get it done. Even if I just strong arm Teltac into planning it for me, we'll get someone to do it. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next week with something else. I've enjoyed this conversation in English. That's it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm going to hit stop streaming now. Bye. See you next week.
Goodbye.
See ya.